And we're live.
Hello.
Fantastic. Davidoff, welcome back to Biscotti Conversations, everybody. And this is the last podcast of the year. This is Mr. Davidoff, cool, a very long-term friend of mine, traveller, writer, and journaler.
Yep.
Journaler.
Very into the journaling. Keeping it going.
Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
Absolute
Thank you
pleasure.
for having me.
It's a wonder. He's brought some beers back from his travels.
Careful with that.
Oh yeah. They have been on a plane
For a long time.
sometime.
Oh shit, this one's... I don't know how I actually make the words of this one.
Lale. Oh. Are you cleaning up correctly?
Yes.
Cracker open. Crack. Where's the crack? Where's the crack like? There we go. Dude.
Wonderful. What do you make of the Mexican beer? Victoria, it's called. Second biggest, I believe, after Corona.
I can taste the sunshine.
That's what I like to hear.
It's I don't know.
Mm.
It might be some form of psychological
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
like bias I have, but every time I kind of do taste any form of Latino beer, I do get an ever so little, that little kind of umami-ish taste that San Miguel has. You know, that real.
I don't.
You know,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Umami in Japan. So it's like their definition of what savory is.
Yes.
So it's like San Miguel has this odd savory aftertaste, especially if you drink it warm. Which should
put that over.
Damn it! I've definitely seen you drink many beers warm.
No.
Many a warm beer.
Well, yeah, when desperate times.
Against your will, of course.
Against my will, yeah. It wasn't my choice.
Dave and I shared a house during, we shared a block of flats in the first year of uni. The second year we shared a house, and then third year we shared another house, and we went up by one person in our last house, but it was a much bigger property.
Well, we sort of switched Lewis for Richard.
Yeah.
And military was a wild card we just sort of threw in there in the mix.
Andy slept in the downstairs cupboard like Harry Potter.
He slept on my floor for about nearly a month or something.
Oh yeah,
some weeks.
Didn't he?
Oh yeah, when he was going through rough times.
He used to sleep in his car probably a few nights, and then ended up staying at ours, and then ended up sleeping in the
downstairs cupboard.
Downstairs cupboard, yeah, exactly. Oh, I missed that place.
Needed to get out. Needed out of that.
It was good. We never even met the landlord or lady for that place, and we destroyed most of the furniture.
We did a very good job of destroying the furniture.
Apart from the kitchen table, which is the only thing that was left alive in that house.
And we covered the bathroom with empty bottles of anything we had.
No two bottles were the same.
Those 2 bottles were allowed to be the same. That was the rule. We had a celebration every time. It was that whole job. I don't remember. Alrighty then.
You say you didn't remember.
I didn't. I don't know. It came back. It came back to me.
But yeah, we've had many. God, it's been such an adventure of friendship.
The gallivants we've had, my friend.
Oh my God, from first year, I just leaving bottles of Corona outside.
That was the best thing. Just hear a knock on my door. Like what? There's a Corona on the floor, just perfectly open with a line just in the top, ready to go.
Perfect.
I knew what I needed to do.
Oh, come downstairs.
Get your ass downstairs as soon as you can.
Oh, but you have recently. I know you didn't want to go too much into it, but you have just recently returned from it, and I gotta ask.
And I'm going back out in on the 5th, 4th of January.
You live in a crazy part of it, don't you? As well, you live in quite a scallywag region. I don't know.
I've been living in Querétaro, central Mexico, since April, and it's not really a scallywag region, but it's like one of the safe regions. They say it's like a safe haven from the narcos, from the just general shit happening between gangs and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a challenge in so many ways. It's just put myself like upside down, rattled me around a little bit, and then thrown me out the box is how I feel.
Wow.
I feel like, yeah, completely different person who's been thrown into the streets. Because I have been living on the floor of one of my friend's places for about a month, sleeping on the floor. And that's because I had a big fight with the boyfriend of one of my housemates at the time. Because I was staying with two girls. And one of them had a boyfriend who was like really macho.
Yeah.
And he was always had to prove it, it felt. And I just lost it with him. He had been staying there with us without paying rent, without me even being asked if I wanted to have some kind of input.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have asked and then I could have said no.
Yeah.
And then they could have been like, well, at least we tried, but he kind of needs to. That would have been better.
Yeah.
But,
than just going in there and. Because it's a house as a community, it's a community area, somewhere that everybody has to chip in, and especially if you're a guest. As a guest, you should not feel obliged to chip in and help, but you should, as a natural impulse, as any guest should. The moment you go into the house, you should want the host to do as little as possible to make your time as good as possible, like that. But that's that's like sort of how I was raised. Is if you're the host, you got to treat the guest, and if you're the guest, then you got to make sure the host has to do as little as possible, so that so that you can relax with the host.
I don't know, but that guy was like, yeah, trying to throw his body weight around, and I was like, this is where I live though. And one night I just lost it, just started shouting. I was like, you just need to fuck off. Basically, I said, vete a la chingada, which is fuck off in Mexican.
Do you not speak a lot of English?
He didn't speak any, as far as I
know. Oh,
jeez. So,
yeah. You could have sat up on your fucking arsehole. You absolute piece of shit. And he would never have known.
But I did this and he was there.
Yeah.
So I wasn't just shouting at the rooms, but I was shouting at this guy. And he got in my face and was like, you make me fuck off. I was like, you fuck off. And it was just really tense, but didn't quite elevate to violence. But it was so close.
So close.
I wanted to, but
it's so good.
I knew
the best that it didn't. That's so good that it didn't escalate. That you.
Yeah, it's been. I end up thinking about it a lot just because I've been in a situation because of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it. It's how part of me is like, how dare this asshole come into my house?
Yeah.
And try and push his own weight around. And the other part of me is like, well, to be fair, he didn't do a lot wrong.
Yeah.
And end of the day, a fight with him, even if I did win it, he would probably have like mates.
Yeah,
who would I have?
exactly.
Like, there was no support community for me out there. I had some friends, but they were also foreigners, basically. Most of my friends are foreigners.
But you also get a little bit of there's a very strange side of human behavior as well, where you get a little bit of like sort of respect, not for necessarily a display of machismo, but for standing your ground, for standing there and saying, like, look, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not cool with this, and this is my say.
Yeah.
And that is really important, because it's like a reminder. I was listening to it today, Rage Against the Machine's first album, where they say he's got that great bit in the song Freedom, last song on the album, where he goes, anger is a gift. And there is a certain part of that where it is the energy from it that allows you to push through that boundary and allows you to kind of, communicate with people that they
say things that need to be said.
Absolutely, because a lot of people like that have been living on that level. They've been living on this crazy level, which is the reason why they don't. I feel like, hi there, can I interest you in it, or can I offer you? They don't. They're like, oh no, I'm not. And as a lot of people, it's construed as rude to a lot of people, and it can be rude. Yeah. But and then it's their job that they have to soften their own edges.
They should.
That's all about
what you make someone do that.
No.
And even if I did force someone, I can imagine at least that if I did force someone to soften their edges or to move themselves for me, because they were being an asshole, to make them less of an asshole, I know that getting there and that sort of whole process would just be some kind of like stabbing myself in the leg, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I know
daunting,
that
especially
it
if you're
would-
looking at the process as a whole. If you can see it and you realize what it takes to do it because you've been there yourself in so many regards as well. You know, when you are that guy, or you are witnessing that person, or you've met, you know, it's
that's still a difficult situation for me to talk about, to be honest.
absolutely.
I still get angry thinking about that whole situation.
Hmm.
And yeah, there was a point where this guy was in my face and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to show you how macho I am and shit." And I was like, I felt at my weakest I've ever felt. I felt like I hadn't been eating well. I felt like I had no muscle, I had no strength, I had nothing that me as younger me would have gone back to and been like, at least I can be strong and sort of show my strength. And maybe that will work out for me. In this situation, I didn't have any of that. Didn't have my support group. And this guy was like shouting in my face. And I still got more in his face. And I was still like, no, you fuck off. I mean, I didn't end up getting him to fuck off, but I made the stand.
Yeah.
And I'm at least proud of myself for making the stand, even though I felt like
In an alien
a
world.
weak skeleton
Yeah.
that could have just been knocked over with a slight touch.
That's such an important part of your life, that moment now, then. That's probably the reason why you have so much emotion attached to it and, you know, whatnot.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
And life is a rich tapestry because of that, dude. I've got many moments on nights out where I've messed up. I've massively messed up in a social scenario, and I've gone full bore and thinking that I'm in the right, and I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not in the right. I've looked back, and it's the weird thing is that it's taken me sometimes 24 to 48 hours for me to look back on previous me in that situation and go, what was I why?
Yeah.
Why didn't I just go, look, I'm sorry, you're completely right. You're absolutely right. I'm in the wrong, and I'm not taking the piss. You're in the right. I'm being a drunken penis. I'm being a fool.
I mean, when you're
and
drunk,
I do
it is
apologize.
different, though.
Yeah,
It is different when alcohol's involved.
it is. Or yeah, only substances for that regard. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I think as well, for me personally, I don't know how it affects other people, but you see the machismo so much in everything. Like walking down the street, some people are just so into it, they're like literally bumping into you when there's no need.
Yeah,
And
there's a
you're
lot more of that
like,
nowadays.
Stop, mate.
I had that
And there's
today.
so much. I had it on the way here, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
I was just walking from the train station and some guys just whizzed past me on their bikes. No, I just said, oh, fuck off.
Dude, I don't use the bell on my bike anymore. It's an
Yeah.
outdated thing, and it's not because people can't hear it. It's because people don't get it. People aren't used to like, oh, it's a bike. I'll just move out the way. No, people just keep walking, and they're like, if he rides into me on his bike, then I'll just be upset with him. You're like, how did you just dick? Just move your ass out of the way. It's not hard. You step slightly. Oh, dude, I was going to Victoria Station in London. From the underground, and I missed that weird little labyrinth of concrete you got to go through when you're taking that connective path in between the underground, Victoria Underground, to the Victoria Overground.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Yeah, but I missed that bit, so I had to go overground, and then you walk past that little clock that's in the middle of like nowhere, and there's like a Pret there, and then there's like a few other things, and then you get to the front of the station, and there's normally some kids huffing glue outside, or some guy that's always got like a spoon up his ass who's going the aliens have landed, we're all doomed, and he's like on it. He's like
always a guy like that.
He's like 2 8-balls deep at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was some guy that's trying to take his pants off. The police like, no, please. I didn't look. I was like in a rush for a train because I was hungover. But it was, but yeah, anyway. And so I digress. I was walking there, and I had heavy bags and shit, and I was like just walking forwards, and I was like walking in this line, and there was a guy, and he was like, he wasn't there, but he was like there.
Right.
I kept walking, and his daughter moved. It's like, or who is the young girl who he was with moved out the way, and he was carrying a big bag with him. And I just kind of kept walking, and I was like, look, my weight's bigger than yours, so you know, sort of. I was mentally in my brain, I was like, it's kind of your discretion to move out the way. That would be a very kind thing for you to do. Thank you so much. And I didn't take into consideration the fact that maybe he had had a bad day. or he was carrying a lot of shit.
We often forget.
He could have had an anvil in the bag he was carrying. For all I knew.
Who knows?
And he just went boom straight into me. I was so fucking angry. I turned around.
I know.
I turned around. I was like, move your fucking ass, mate. I literally, I turned around and I said, move your fucking, and I was ready to just drop back some fucking go. I was like, I'd never thought, I was like, found muscles I'd forgotten I'd had. I was like, I nearly, my grip loosened on the bag I had because I was like, I'm done. Let's go. Fucking let's go. I tightened my grip, I looked onwards, and I changed the track on my headphones and I kept walking.
That's the best move to make.
Absolutely. And I still remember it, but at the same time, I'm glad that virtual me in that moment in the present tense didn't kick off. I wasn't. I kept my Spartan reserve. I maintained me in that situation.
That's
I didn't
good.
see red. I just,
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Victoria yesterday, I was having to rush because I was like, I was thinking at that point I was thinking we could just make a train and get back home a little bit earlier. And so I was rushing. I mean, I didn't need to get that train. I still would have got a train anyway, but I wanted to get back home a little bit earlier, have some lunch because I was hungry. And I saw like a space between some people. Like some people are going diagonally across in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I saw space and I was going for space. And I even moved a little bit. I sort of moved a little bit like this. And this guy still walked into me.
Yeah.
And then he kind of almost made it out to be that I like deliberately done something. He was like, oh.
It's because he's looking at the situation and he's going,
you could have seen me come.
Yeah, and you can tell in your brain that he's thinking like, oh look, this guy's moving. Louis C.K. does a great sketch about this where he talks about people going across a four-way intersection and they're on the right-hand side and they got to turn left. And instead of going up one block and slowly cutting through the traffic and then eventually going left at the next block and then going over and then skate back down again, this guy just shoves his car into everybody else's life. And you see the guy's face. He goes, "I'm sorry. I don't know what else to do. I'm sorry." And everyone else is going, "Fucking
the feigned ignorance."
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. It's just because he can be fucking asked to move. I'm sorry, I'm very big hurry.
I have been on both sides of that. Probably the wrong side too many times, to be honest.
But at least you're like aware. Like imagine not being aware. Like that's the part that sucks, is that if you can look back and you're like, oh, I know he was definitely wrong. I can't imagine being that. Like I'm way too in my own brain to go like I'm normally like, is this my fault? Like that's normally my first thought is, right, did I fucked up somewhere here?
Wait, let's have a revision of this.
Let's look at me first. Like I'm gonna have done something wrong in here.
Yeah.
But
man.
Yeah, like that's my first port of call, but I like to think it's quite a nice self-deprecating thing. But it's quite alright. Go for it.
No, I'm just gonna mute it because
somebody messaged through on mine, and I'm just wondering. Nothing. Sometimes people message through that are watching and going, "Hey, just in your life, guys." And and I love texting back during live streams. So I'm like, oh, it's live, yes. Oh, fabulous. I love that fabulousness of everything, the speed in the moment. That's like being in moments is like the best way to be. That's what I've realized that you fall in love with. That's what the coolest part of like being for me is that you get
the moment.
Absolutely. You get to
I agree with that.
Like, and that's why like this is so good. It's because this is an organic. You and I have no idea what we're going to talk about next. We have no idea what we're going to say. What we're going to talk about. We've got no script, no nothing. There's no, and we haven't seen each other in how long?
Since March, about.
Yeah, but you just turned up through the door, and it's like no time was lost in between us, and I love that. Like,
I mean, we have that good friendship.
Absolutely, like I fucking.
Although,
man.
One thing that has been on my mind a lot.
Yeah.
Especially recently, I've been feeling like Mexico's been wearing me down. And I know that sounds a bit cliche, but like sometimes I just haven't been eating enough because I've been going from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't quite reach, so I just end up eating like rice with beans.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of Mexican, but It's not great. It's just not a good thing to be living off because you still like got a hunger in your stomach even after you've eaten, and you're like, there's nothing else to come,
Yeah.
and you're just like, fuck.
I have to fill that hole with things. I have to do stuff, and then that uses up even more energy.
Yeah, and I get this kind of feeling in my own head when I haven't been eating enough that I just get headaches a lot, and I can't focus on things as much as I should be able to, or much as I can normally, and that's just fucked with me. And being in Mexico, I was paying a lot more in rent than I could have, but it was a good location. I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah. It wasn't fine because I still needed to eat and all of that, and I wanted to travel. So some of it, most of it was my own fault because I would go out more than I should have, travel. But that's why I was there, I was there to see Mexico, not just to be in Querétaro.
That's the moment.
Working 9 to 12.
Yeah.
9 to 12. Well, more than that. Fuck. I would get home like stupidly late. Get home at like 10 p.m. And I'd need to get up again early. I was like, this is fuck with me. Luckily for Christmas, it started dying down again, but like October, November time, I was dead on my feet every day. And they work people too much in Mexico. That's something I've learned. And I probably should have known that beforehand because some people might be like, yeah, that's obvious. Come on. But fuck.
Yeah, but if it's obvious, then it still needs to be said. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And just so many people are more used to working more than they should.
Yeah.
And some people are like, you have no right to be tired because you work less than me. And I'm like, I still work a lot though.
Yeah.
You should be tired, man.
Exactly. But and the other thing is that you compare yourself against these juggernauts of work that you meet all the time. You bump into these people that are like, oh yeah, dude, like I thought I was having a bad commute because I was like, right, I've got 9 miles every single day on my bike, 9.4 miles every day on my bike, and then I've got to work. Oh yeah, dude, so good. And then I got to work 10. Like you do 2 weeks in a row of 10 hours every single day, 4 days a week, and then like you work like maybe one of those Fridays as well. And like, and then there's some guy in each other that's like, oh yeah, dude, I used to work 12-hour days, and I had a 13-mile commute there and back, so that's like 26 miles every single day. And you're like, fuck, come on. Like I would get a bit of sympathy for for my, but like it's you can't do that. Unfortunately, you kind of gotta. There's a weird thing now where you kind of got to almost break yourself on the wheel until eventually somebody else picks you up.
Yeah,
and that's weird. That's really difficult, but weird to do. But it happens, and it's happening. It's at this part of our lives is that you and I. I mean, it feels like it. I mean, from my angle, I'm not too sure where you are, but it feels like from like telepathically where I'm, and that you've just crawled out the ooze. You've just gotten out the mud. You've got your first elbow out onto dry land, looking at like you're looking at it. You've crawled out the water, and you're actually seeing the hotel.
Yeah,
and you've got enough money in your wallet to cover the room, and you can actually tip the door guy on your way in, but you just got to clean your clothes before you get in there, and you've got to find you're just getting out. There's loads of stuff still to do, and it's still difficult, and you can see it's going to be difficult for a while, but at the same time it's better than it was, and it will never be as bad as it was.
That much I agree with. I mean, the place I was renting was good, but it was nearly half my paycheck. I'll say exactly how much I earned. I earned 10,000 every month, and my monthly rent was 4,000 pesos. So it was like 6,000 pesos to buy food, to just travel.
Do you have water, utilities, internet?
Utilities like and everything was included in the 4,000, but still 6,000 pesos a month wasn't enough.
With shit internet?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Sometimes my housemate, who was the landlady, even though it was her father's place, she was like the landlady, and she started getting bossy towards the end. So yeah, sort of like, you're being an asshole. I'm going.
Preach. I've been exactly where that is. Keep talking.
But yeah, basically, she would forget to pay the internet like at least every month.
And then she comes down on you like a fucking hammer whenever you do something like remotely yeah.
Oh yeah.
Guys, Dave, who is sleeping in the house with you, was upset that you came home loud and noisy last Saturday night, and I'm gonna have a word with you now about it. And you're like, fucking Mitch, you come over every night for being loud.
You're always drunk. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll try not to go into that too much because those wounds are still fresh.
Exactly, and you one never wants to besmirch anyone's name as well. You never want to speak ill of somebody that's not in the room,
especially in
poor taste,
especially in public domain.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, that was getting more and more difficult, and yeah, no.
So what have you got now, though? Well, I mean, what's next?
Well, I'm still without a home in Mexico, but yesterday I just did the visa process.
Okay.
Getting that done, and so I will go back to my same job, and at least it'll be something to go back to. There have been issues in the job as well, like a lot of people saying like, it's screwed up how much they give us to work and the owner doesn't care.
Yeah.
A lot of that. And there were issues with paying us last time. I managed to get paid just about before I came back to England. And that was pure luck, I feel.
Yeah.
It was like the day before I came back to England, I was like, good, right, I'm off.
Oh.
And yeah, that money is basically what I'm spending on coming here because it's not much money. I came back with about 150 quid.
Yeah.
Spent 30 quid coming down here.
Wow. Well, well done for making your way down here, mate. Thank you so much for dropping in on us.
No, it was necessary. Completely necessary.
So what's your plans for New Year then?
It's
happening for New Year's celebration.
I'm not doing much. I mean, I'm gonna hang around with you guys until New Year's Eve, and then just go back to my parents' place. We have basically my sister's boyfriend, who is almost part of the family because they've been dating about 10 years. We're gonna.
And he's cool as cucumber.
Cool. He's a nice guy, really nice guy. And he came up with an idea for a Christmas party game where everyone buys a wine, and you don't know who's got which wine. So there's like enough wines and enough courses for each person. So everyone buys a wine with each course. For example, champagne would be with the starter, maybe.
Oh,
You'd have dessert wine with the dessert. You'd have a red wine maybe with the main course.
Yeah.
And everyone gets assigned a wine in secret. There's like a pull something out of the hat moment.
Yeah.
And so we have to go off and buy the food that goes with that wine as well. I still haven't done it yet, but I will. And that's the plan for New Year's Day. New Year's Eve.
Oh, lovely. That sounds really cool.
Day. Sounds fun. And it'll be nice to spend more time with my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm trying to make the most of that. And if I would have gone out with friends for New Year's, I would have spent more money than I have.
We're not, because we're not even going out for New Year's because I've got to go. I'm zooming off in January. Next Sunday. Next Sunday, I'm at Gatwick.
A week tomorrow. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun in the fun.
Where are you going?
Away to a better place. I'm going to Disneyland. I'm not even joking. I'm genuinely going to Disneyland. Oh,
nice, man. Nice.
Hang-a-lang. I cannot wait.
In America or in Paris?
Oh, yes. America, yeah.
You could jump by and see me. I'll be in Mexico again.
Oh, yeah. We could swim across the Gulf to each other.
Yeah. I'm going to be there from the 4th. I'm going to be in Mexico again.
I'm there for 2 weeks. So
if you get the opportunity, come down to Querétaro, man.
Dude, I gotta hit up this bassist called Kevin, who I met there last time, and he's like this preacher bassist. But no, he's not him. No, I mean he's not like the and you will be struck down by 1,000 blows from heaven. No. Exactly. No. I didn't. He's 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 a religious gentleman. Well, I didn't. You'd never know it to meet him. He's not one of these people. He is like he doesn't lean over and the crucifix falls out from under his shirt and he goes
just
like
slaps your Bible.
So when was the last time that you thought about going to see our father, sort of thing, like and all that jazz, and you can't in every conversation you got to escape. It's not like that at all.
No,
No.
I
He's
get that.
this
There are
guy's
people like that.
rock and roll. This guy's really rock and roll, and he's please, if you're listening, do hit up go check on my Instagram and check the guy called at Kevin and at Kevin Bass. He is. I'm okay. This man is this man is insane. This man is an insane bassist. He is a different talent. This man is a phoenix of talent. He is incredible. Yeah, I bumped into him in a music shop, and we were showing each other some styles. It was like a kung fu battle on musical instruments. I was like, oh man, can you do that? And he was like, yeah, dude, can you do that? And he was like, oh, you can do flamenco. And I was looking at this guy, and he's like just doing all this. Man. Oh, dude, he's doing all this other fucking shit. All I showed him was flamenco and double tapping triplets. And
you're starting to lose me. But
he's I should have my bass in here. I could probably show you, but so
it's your show.
Quickly, but not much. So I was just showing him like the double tap.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then like the pluck triplet.
Yeah, man.
And then the flamenco. Wait, but he's
man.
Dude, he can do triplets on one string, so he doesn't even leave the string. So I'm not leaving that string. And that's like, and he's going like he can do it like double my speed doing this. Like the man is he's insane, insanely talented.
I can imagine.
But yeah, he does a lot of church community work and things like that, and I'm looking forward to dropping him a message on Instagram, bothering him a little bit, and saying, "Hey, where's my inbox?" Dude, I'd love to go to a like a oh god, how'd they say it, like a Baptist, I'd love to go to a Baptist church. I'd love to do that. My dad went when we were in New York when I was a kid to one, because you have to get up at 5 a.m. and go down there and stuff. And I was on holiday, and I was like, "No, Dad, I don't get up at 5." Like, but yeah, he's doing all that, and he said it's not far off Blues Brothers in there. They go nice. Crazy, and people
sort of just sweating.
Absolutely,
the exertion of pure enjoyment.
Absolutely, yeah. They're just in that moment, and whether or not you are religious or aren't religious, they're tapping into something which is greater than themselves. And whether or not you believe it's an ethereal force, a scientific one, or it's just people going crazy in that moment, they are feeling something. And it's what I was saying about being in love with that present moment.
Yeah,
it's being in love in that moment.
Being there.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. We're going right now. It's magical.
Might be.
Oh, dude. Should we move on to the Cockburns, or should we? Yeah,
no. Completely game.
Move on with Cockburns, and then our old friend John Daniels has made an appearance as well. He's technically our silent third guest.
Silent.
Okay. What bottle of mini Cockburns?
Oh yes, please. Sir? Oh yes.
Another one for me.
Oh, it's in Portuguese as well, as it should be.
Can
I speak Portuguese?
Portuguese, yes.
No, it's similar to Spanish.
But it's a completely different language though as well, isn't it?
Like there's some bits you can understand. I can mainly only understand it if it's written. But
that's still cool though. If it's written, that's cool.
I can't understand all of it because only if it's written and similar. There's some words that are very similar. I have a Brazilian friend, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's so similar. I can just easily get both of them." And I'm like, "No, it's not. I don't."
Yeah, but she is Brazilian. Like that's
she's
kind of got to grow up with different dialects, and like that's probably like going to Wales, like going up to going up to like Bogota for them is like the equivalent of going up to like Scotland, where you're just hearing somebody in an insanely dense accent. Oh, yeah, they're the gang. They flew the beer.
I heard someone speaking Spanish on the way here on the train.
Oh.
I had my headphones in, I was jamming, and I started to realize that I could hear some foreign language. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a little listen in, see if I can make out the words. Took an earphone out, and she was speaking Spanish. I was like, all right, cool. I couldn't make out all of it though, because if she was Mexican, I probably would have understood it. Or Colombian accent for me is very clean, crisp, especially if it's from Bogota, from Medellin. But
Medellin's apparently quite up high society now, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
especially since I go to Escobar.
Yeah.
But,
we're not laughing at them, we're laughing with them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But this girl was speaking with a really weird accent, and I know it's a country I haven't been to before. I think it was Argentina, because there's like a YouTuber I've watched, and she does like have a different accent, like the A's, or when they finish a word and it is an A, it goes up in a different way, and it's sort of
like A.
I don't know how to describe it, man. I just
A and E and I all become one letter.
No, it's not quite like that.
not in terms of sentencing structure, but in pronunciation.
It's like they got an accent in it.
Yeah.
That's different to another accent you would come across in any other version of Spanish. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I didn't understand all of it because of that kind of thing. Because I was so focused on that different accent that I was missing out words of conversation. All I got was that she was talking to her mum, basically. Yeah. I thought, okay, cool. Good for her. Good for her.
But lucky it wasn't like anything dodgy. Like I've been having.
Try not to put too much attention as well. I don't want to be like
I've been
really
having loads of
obvious.
vaginal troubles, mum. Like I'm really bad. Like got thrush.
But there are some people I've come across that are just too open about that kind of thing, like women as well.
Yeah,
like,
but
you can
Spanish women though, they're can be quite forwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mean that's a bad thing in general, but I mean, I thought it would be better for her to talk with her girlfriends about it than with me.
Yeah, because they'd understand.
I don't get it.
I don't have a vagina, so as such, a lot of this is wasted on me.
Exactly. I'm in a different boat to you, I'm afraid.
I know a lot of people like to blur the lines at the moment.
And yeah, there's a lot of talk about it.
But you can be safe with me. I'm pretty comfortable not talking about your cooch, you know.
There are some things where some Mexicans I know are trying to use the feminine noun for guys as well as girls. As like, because they have the whole thing of like in a group, generally, as I understand
as
it,
in putting the A at the end, amiga, and things
so
like that.
in a group of people,
yeah,
if it was like equal, like 5 guys and 5 girls,
yeah,
they would use, or traditionally speaking, they would use amigos.
Okay, yeah. That's so strange because that is a bit like us because there's a lot more people that are very comfortable. Sorry. Yeah, it's all good. Oh, yeah. There's a lot more people that are comfortable going like, "Hey guys," when you just talk to a group of people.
Yeah.
You just talk to a group of people. It's mixed. There's women, men, children, Eskimos. Everybody's in there, and you're just going like, "Hey guys, just wondering. Could you make sure you don't leave your socks out after?"
Yeah,
you know, like things like that.
And speaking in Spanish makes me think more about that kind of thing. I think more about like, I use guys, which should generally it should be for just men. Like if we go back to the root of the word, I don't know. I get to it in my own head, and I'm like, no, I'm out. I'm just letting this go.
That's the amazing thing about language. That's why we would think like people like Shakespeare are just so fucking insane, is because they like do backflips on sentencing structure, and it's just insane when you read people like that. Or oh god, who's the other person as well? Prince Machiavelli. Machiavelli's insane. That's crazy. That book is nowhere near long enough. I could have done with another like 4 volumes worth of like length in terms of that book. Because, but you at the same time that you finish it and you go, yeah, that was really good. I'm gonna read it again. 1 second, I'm just gonna go and grab I have a knife from the kitchen. Actually, no, let's use the one because
mate.
Yeah,
wherever you're comfortable.
Keep the okay, I'm just gonna leave you with Dave for a second, and he's gonna talk about cheese.
I probably won't. I'm not gonna lie.
Dave will talk about cheese.
But for anyone, I'll just talk about traveling stuff for a little bit. Just the weird, I don't know how to put it, but being out of my comfort zone for so long has definitely been something that I wanted to do. and makes me feel better for doing. But I don't know, it just sort of wrecks you down. Being in Mexico or being in any country that isn't something you're used to just sort of tears you down in a sort of way that you hope you would build yourself back up again. But I'm at the point where I don't know if that's going to actually happen. I feel like after Mexico, I might be better for it, or I might just be a wreck. But I'm not. I'm hoping, and I'm striving to be better for it. Do you want to come back in?
Oh yeah. I've got.
Was rejoin the game?
Wasn't going on. So you're talking about
I was just talking about generally moving out of your comfort zone
mm,
and being in a different country, and it just feels like you've torn yourself apart. That you rip yourself to shreds almost.
yeah.
And you hope that you'll build yourself back together as a better person, but you're not sure. And I'm at that stage where I don't know. I feel like I've torn myself down, but I need to build myself back up, and I don't know how or what kind of shape that's going to take. Yeah,
It's very strange that you mentioned this because I'm actually at quite a similar stage myself in terms of my art at the moment because I've just left like art. It's weird. Well, the only reason I was weird about this is because I actually haven't discussed any of it on the podcast. I don't like discussing it with people or at all. Like I don't like talking about family or friends or anything. It's because it's because it's a private little like if it's an arty thing, it's very much this is mine. And if it's as if you discuss it with too many people, that a lot of the mystery goes. So every time you talk about it with somebody, another part of it is with them. They have a little part of it, which is cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's just something that if I talk about it too much, you jinx it into becoming something else. Anyway, we've recently changed the lineup for our band.
Okay.
And it's a huge thing for us. This, and especially me being as massively inexperienced as I am in all of this. And as a result, we've now just come on to sourcing new people, and I've not closed the door, but I've kind of just put it to, and now millions of other doors have opened, and some of them have got the most incredible, talented, insane, brilliant human beings behind them, and you haven't even met them yet. You've just heard people go like, "Oh, you should meet Trevor.
Yeah.
You should meet Trevor and hear Trevor play guitar." And you just can't wait for it, dude. Like it's rad, but at the same time, I'm super out my comfort zone. I've no idea what I'm doing.
It's a good place to be.
I've not. There's so many books that you read on it, and every one of them is different, and all of them will go right. Nobody has all the answers, and you're on your own. But it's fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And yeah, so I know what you mean though, where you burn the house down, and all of a sudden, you're now actually replanting some pots of plants, with the ashes. Actually, and they're starting to germinate. And you go, oh, whoa, this is cool. And then people are like, oh, dude, you don't have to use that type of ash. There's millions of other ashes. We've got 15 other plant pots. This type of plant pot helps. Yeah, I missed a metaphor today, aren't I?
You really are.
Yeah.
You normally are. It's fine. I live with it. I'm just gonna chuck this up.
Go for it. Yeah, like this.
No.
So it's projects, things to do.
There was one thing I remember. I used to watch a few like motivational coaches, and they would be like, "Oh, you need to do this to be successful," and most of it was bullshit. And there was one thing that stuck with me, and he said that you need to make yourself commit to doing something, and in order to make yourself commit, you have to burn the bridges. It's like a sort of mixed advice, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword because you're sort of fucking yourself. And he was saying to make sure. So basically, his thing was that he moved to live in the USA.
So don't have any plan Bs.
Yeah, that was his saying. He was like, make sure you don't have any plan Bs. Make sure there's no way you can go back home. And I think that can be very easily misinterpreted.
Absolutely.
I hope he meant it in a sort of, you so focus yourself on the task. But
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's what that means. Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
some people could take that to be
Fuck you, mum and dad.
Fuck you, mum and dad. Just
But we
like-
love you. No, fuck you. That's what the guy on YouTube said.
Yeah, yeah. And
Well.
recently, like, I've thought about being in Mexico the whole time and what I could have missed being out there that I could have done back here in England. And there's a lot of you guys. For example, you and the others. I feel like, yeah, I could have missed out on things. But I am happy that I went out there. I had this when I went out in March. I was like, I'm going to go out to Mexico for a year at least. And then I will have much better knowledge of Spanish. I will have all of this experience that I would have come across would be incredible. I feel like it would be something I could build a life from. And I also wrote books on what I was doing, on like the whole failures. My books are basically like failures. I say books in plural. There's a second one I've written, but it's not out yet. But there's one that I finished and put on Kindle, which is called Traveling as a Brutality by David Crowe.
I've read some good highlights of that and enjoying it.
You're actually in it. I don't know if you've got to the bit where you're in it yet. You're in it.
Yeah, I've read what one bit that I was in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think? That must have been a bit surreal. That's me. Wait.
It was yeah, I've no problem with anyone's depictions of me in anything at all. I'm very happy.
In that book, I didn't even change the names.
Yeah.
It's like Will, Jack, other people.
Yeah.
And
you did ask me years ago.
I did.
I remember that. And I
wanted to be sure because it was also, for me, it was a bit of a difficult time between us.
Yeah.
We were all like sort of.
Very weird times.
Yeah.
That was a very weird time to be alive or doing anything.
I mean,
in
we
general.
were finishing uni, so to be fair,
everything was like.
And I wrote about it. So.
Oh, you're one of the only people that did. I am.
Yeah.
I did a few songs and bits and bobs of music that have like influences of that unknown, but it's kind of like I've adapted and morphed a lot of it into finding answers kind of in the unknown. Marilyn Manson once said that art should not be an answer; it should be a question mark.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that, but I also think that art can be anything you want it to be as well.
Of course,
it doesn't just have to be what it is. It's a lot, but I do believe that it should be some form of tangible object that you can imbibe some way, whether it, that being music or writing or poetry, any form of expression like that, or just watching somebody do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like using my raw emotion to feel why I write and what I do. Whereas I try not to go through because I don't know, I find my bad experiences sometimes not necessarily traumatizing, but I don't skate over them. I really confront and face them as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I try and let the pure fuel emotional moment that is my uncomfort, my hatred in that moment, my anger, my anything. I just immediately try and channel that into art, and I never discuss what the fuel is. I just talk about the fire.
Right. And I have talked about the fuel.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But that would be more towards you as a writer, I would say, anyway.
Maybe.
Because you like to see how everything works in the fuel, whereas I enjoy a little bit more of the mystery.
I like to. Well, I mean,
I'm not saying
I'm a fan of mystery.
Oh yeah,
I'm a fan of mystery in its many ways. I think that especially chaos, when you don't understand it, can be a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I try telling that to my friends. Are like, oh, I need to know exactly what's going to happen here to here to here, and I'm like, but there is a lot of beauty in not knowing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a difficult argument to make someone understand.
Yeah.
But I try. I try to be at least the positive voice at the back. Like, hey, it's all going to be good, even if you don't know what's happening next.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, I like to know where my feeling comes from. Maybe not to know, maybe to know like the source of the storm, but not know how it's going to end. So I would know like this person did this, and I would try not to point fingers. In the way I wrote that book, I have talked about some bad moments, but like the really bad moments, because in my journal, it's all from my journal originally. I did write about something like, oh, I didn't like this guy. But in the book, I didn't say that. I would just, either if it was something really bad about someone, just take it out. Like it didn't happen. And other times I'd be like, so basically this guy got hit in the face and this got hit him back. I would like sort of try and detach a little bit more.
Yeah.
I didn't do it completely, I don't think, because that's impossible in my mind, trying to be completely detached from what you're writing. You're always going to put some kind of, even a slither of remnants of your opinion is going to be in there.
Yeah.
You could try and be as, in my mind, you can try and be objective, but you'll never get to it.
How are you when you release a piece of work then? So when you released that book, were you happy with it immediately, or did you immediately want to change everything or change some bits of it? Or
I felt like I could always want to change it. You
Yeah.
know? I felt like I could be at a point where I would just edit.
Yeah.
Forever. And
Yeah.
I was like, I got to a point where I was like, it looks good. I read it through once and I was like, makes sense, it flows, like it. And I just released it.
And there's sometimes they're doing too much work as well, which is
That's what
another,
I'm
which is an
saying.
even weirder one. Is doing too much to something, and then
I know that I would have hated it and burnt the whole thing if I wrote
yeah,
too much.
No, because you're like, there's too much to take out. Oh, solid.
And I just got to a point where I was happy enough with it to release it. I was like, this is a good enough level.
It's so good.
I'll be good with this. And I just put it out there. I was like, I'm not even going to put a second thought to it.
Sláinte.
Cheers.
Prost. Ego się gadre. Salut.
Salud. Yeah. I enjoyed writing it, and that was the main thing for me. It probably won't make a lot of money. I don't think it will. But
You enjoyed
the
writing
love was
it.
written into it. And the intention behind it, in my mind, is pure. Like, it's there to show what happened to me, from my point of view, in third person, which is a bit of a sort of twist to try and change how I wrote it. And I think that did have some effect. I enjoyed it.
How much is it?
The whole process.
How much is it? How much is available for?
I put it on for £2. I think was the
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave's book is available on Amazon Kindle for £2.
And that's the Kindle version on, if you just have it on like the app. If you want to buy it in paperback, it would be about £8.
£8 on paperback.
Yeah.
Grab yourself some vouchers, people. Come on.
Yeah. I also have to pay for the
Dave,
printing of it. Every time they print it, the printing of it comes out of what I would earn from it. So
Oh, that's pretty cool though. So it
That's-
doesn't mean that you
it's
have
kind of
to.
a backhanded thing from
Yeah,
Amazon, but
it also means you
won't
just get to be lazy with all the sourcing
Yeah.
and stuff. You don't have to contact every time somebody buys one. You don't have to go right.
Shit.
Gather
Gather them,
Get the
guys.
printer working.
Everyone together.
Oh,
Gotta get this done.
Get them working again. We get stoke the fires and stuff. And get the pages.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple copies. I've actually got a few copies floating around in Mexico, but I haven't finished the Spanish version. So another thing is there's a Spanish version in the works, which has been in the works for a while, because my Spanish wasn't very good. And since I've been in Mexico again, my Spanish got a lot better. So I can write more cohesively and more at an advanced level. I'm not all the way there yet, but I can do it better. And I had a friend I was working on it with, who's sort of fallen off my radar a little bit. I'll try and get back in contact with her better, but we were definitely putting like 2 hours into working on it at a time, 1 hour, 2 hours, and we would get 1 page or 2 pages done. It was a long process because there are like ideas that you can't say in Spanish. Like trying to translate things from English to Spanish is a completely different ballgame. Like there are things that don't translate, or there are things that you have to completely change the words you would use to translate it. Like there's a concept you could say. For example, one of the examples would be "speak of the devil." If you literally translated "speak of the devil" into Spanish, it wouldn't work. as the saying we have.
Yeah.
They use it. Their
Because
one
even ours is a derivation of another sentence, isn't it? Say the
Yeah.
name of the devil and he shall appear.
Yeah.
Isn't
Their
it?
one is Hablando del Rey de Roma, which is speaking of the king of Rome. So their version of speaking of the devil was speaking of the king of Rome.
Wow. I love that.
Fucked up.
I
And
love that.
that happens so much in when you're trying to go from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, and it's something I keep coming across.
And
I love
that's
it.
from the
I love it
Vatican,
so
though. That's from the. Is that from
guess.
the papacy?
I guess it's from the Catholic side.
Wow.
I haven't looked into where it comes from, but that's their version of it. That's just a small example. It happens a lot more and more complex and diluted. I'm losing my English here.
Dude, one of the Spanish guys I used to work with is a
Complex
Catalonian. He said he once told me about that, and I just didn't understand it at all.
Yeah.
That's probably just because I probably wasn't listening very well. But that's so
No.
interesting, though.
There's also like Catalans have like their own language as well, which is mixed with Spanish and French, as I understand it.
Yeah.
That's a whole new ball game, and I'm like, well, I'm staying away from that at least for the moment.
That's a weird place, that Catalonian, Catalan, because
Yeah.
it's like more dark haired, shorter, kind of like there's a little bit more of there's also that little bit of like there's definitely that bit of sort of like Teutonic Germanic sort of like Franco Gaelic kind of like side going in as well, like whereas that just stronghold in there.
Yeah.
And then it's just like that's so.
I mean, you could dive into the history of Spain. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
I will not do
Something
that right now, but yeah, there was the Moors involved. The Moors took over Spain completely.
Gave it so much pretty architecture there as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Oh, God bless the Moors. I don't believe in God or anything, but Jesus Christ, fucking bless the
More
Moors.
religious terminology. I like
Bless
it. I
the
like
Moors.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't. The cool thing is that is because when Jack and I were going around Venice, we were like, I kept going like, you see, look, there's Moorish influence, more like there, that's Moorish, and then like all late, I'd wait one day until we go out the night, have a few dinners together, a few more places, explore.
Just calm him down.
Yeah, calm him down until he's not ready, and I go, where are those arches from? What's the influence? Was it neo-Gothic? And he's like.
Poor Jack.
I go Moorish, and he's like, "Oh, he's yeah."
Like, why didn't I get it?
But the cool thing is, though, is that Jack is one of these people. At the end of the holiday, he's like, "That's Moorish. That's Moorish." Like, he's right at the end of it, and he knows it better than you almost.
Yeah,
it's really he's annoying because he's so fucking smart.
I always told him that if he went to Spain, he would be speaking Spanish quicker than I have taken to learn it. He would like get it in half the time. And that's not because he has like experience in that.
He's just that type of person with information. He focus if he's
a clever man.
He's task orientated.
Yeah.
If there's something happening, he does whatever that
gets it done
is, and he gets it done.
Yeah.
Whereas I spend way too much time with it. I need to fall in love with it, figure out how many billion different angles on it, and then I have to do that one little part of the whole thing. Whereas I can't focus on the whole thing. I have to do that, but
I quite often go very head first into it, and then I have to fuck up a ton of times, and then I finally get it. It's happened with almost everything I've done, but I feel like I get it better that way.
Yeah,
it stays with me. Just watching you put more jam on that.
We have ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, some finest Cockburn's ruby port,
which I'm already out of.
With some blue cheese.
I think there's another bottle.
There is many. With ruby port and some blue cheese. I'm sure it's the Stilton. And some caramelized red onion chutney. Fantastic. Cheers. Cheers, everybody else in the world. Wow. I love being weird on purpose.
No, you got it. I
was listening to somebody talk the other day. It was really interesting. And there's this guy, and he doesn't drink, dude. No, go for it. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, He doesn't do anything. But he
Yep.
is the weirdest guy in the room.
Oh yeah.
And he says that he does it on purpose because he's like these guys are talking about a cast party. Oh, it's Joe Gatto from have you watched Impractical Jokers?
I haven't indulged
Well,
in that.
anyway, he's really funny, and he used to be a salesman,
Right.
and he was they were once at this cast party, and he was like he was just standing on a table and running headfirst into this wall. Not drunk or high or anything, just being funny, just getting laughs for being random, vague, and silly. And he said, I like being the weirdest person in the room. I immediately do something strange, funny, or weird because it means that everybody else gets to then relax.
Yeah.
He says that everybody else in the room, it's like setting the bar or the tone in the room for the ambience of being, this is the weirdest thing that's going to happen in the room. Anybody else is either under this or trying to one up me, or like, or or even people may have just forgotten about me at that point and just are doing things. And I loved that. I thought it was really cool that you go in there, you're like in a crowded room of people, and everyone going, "What on earth are you doing? This is a strange person," just sitting there judging you, and you don't give a flying fuck. You're past that moment. That moment is 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 15 seconds behind you now, and you're like, oh, we're now in this one now, and there's something romantic about that I love.
No, that's
about being human.
I started trying to do that kind of thing, not in social situations so much, but for example, I used to have a politics class when I was in A-levels, so when I was like 17, 18, and my teacher would make the most profound question, and he would say, "So who has an answer to this?" And he would stare at everyone without saying another word until someone answered, and everyone would usually just be too afraid to answer, or just not know. And so many occasions, I was the one that would just say the stupidest thing, just to get the ball rolling.
Because you asked who has an answer. An answer is very, very exactly. So you go like, right, word answer, etymology. Yeah, exactly. You start looking at like the word characteristic creation and whatnot, and you go like, right, pure definition of the word answer is just a reply. It's a response. So you go, that's a good answer there, Dave. Could we expand on it, maybe?
Good bit of bleating, mate. Yeah, and I would, so many occasions, he'd be saying something really educated, like, so socialism, why could socialism not work during the time of Marx? And everyone would be like, we don't know, just sort of staring around. There would be someone who might kind of know.
Yeah.
And they would be like in the corner, just sort of like, not going to say anything. And I'd be like, because Marx was a dick, and basically that's what it was, Marx was just too up his own arse to understand anything. You're like, no, shut up, Dave. And then someone else would say something better, so someone else would one up me, like you were saying, or they would try and just do it as well. And often I would say something that makes people laugh, and they'd be like, it's funny. I don't know if the teacher ever got this, but my intention was to get someone else to say the correct thing, because otherwise we would have been there the whole fucking class.
Yeah.
And we would have just sat there waiting for an answer that someone knew, but they weren't saying.
Yeah.
And I was just there ready to say the stupid or funny thing.
That's
just to get it going. And I did that a lot when I was, about 17, 18. And it definitely helps. I like it. I do it sometimes. I play devil's advocate a lot in social situations. Maybe I've done it with you and just not mentioned it.
A few hundred times. Yeah.
And I just do it to get like a different answer.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's good.
It makes me happy.
That's good. Absolutely. I mean, it's good to be the person that actively thinks differently in the room. It's good to be that. It's not always the most useful to, if you're in, like we're trying to build a bridge and it's,
and Dave's talking about building a dungeon underground somewhere.
Exactly. And you keep pushing the dungeon and Dave,
I mean, you can take it too far.
Yeah, exactly. But then that's not what you do. Like you make sure that your point is that's where a lot of things in, for example, comedy comes from. Is derivations of that, thinking differently, being differently, and just saying something that is there's saying things that have nothing to do with what everyone's doing, and there's saying things that have a tiny bit to do with what somebody's doing, and then they're saying things that are like almost anti what's happening, and it's so like it's almost like inviting criticism upon yourself of being like you're like, oh, I wonder how much hate I could get for just saying this. I don't even agree with what I'm saying now, but I'm going to say it because I find it funny to me. I know nobody else is going to, but there's a little part of me where I'm giggling. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to giggle on the inside, and you look, or you know the person that's going to respond. You go like, there they are, and you go, Young was wrong. I'll let you know, like, I'm going to be Young versus Freud. You know, it's like, Freud is stupid sort of thing. You look for that person, they're going to turn around and you'll push the buttons, you'll wait and you'll say something deliberately, and you have to get clever, more and more smart with that as well. You can't just eventually they become wise to that, or people become wise to it, so you go like, right, okay, let's try and change this up, right? Oedipus, you know, like it's just fishing with it.
Is just so fucked
You're
up.
just fishing, just going for exactly, just saying it, and it's controversial. And there's mothers involved, and it's very
his own mother.
It's killed his own dad. It's very upset, very intense. Let's see where this goes. Okay, guys, it's like you're setting up an improv as part of a theatre troupe. Okay, guys, and we're all trying to climb inside of our own buttholes in 3, 2, scene.
And that just
exactly, and just let them do it. There's going to be one person that does it slightly different out of that lot as well, and you get people that respond differently. Somebody that never speaks may go, what the fucking hell? Or they go, I love where your head's at, and it's like you unlock a human being. It's like you've unlocked a new level on something. It's like you've unlocked that human being. That you know, Jeff never says anything, but that one day that you just went, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, that person meets you outside and goes, you've seen that as well. Are you a fan of these people? Or have you read that? Yeah. And I'm like, you never speak to anyone. Why are you speaking to me? You know,
and it's good.
I just know it's funny. Good. I thought you were funny.
Yeah. And
but you've got to be different sometimes.
It helps. Just a different angle on things gets people to change their response.
Yeah.
I always thought that some people who were just so serious all the time needed to have some stupid thing said at them that would get at least some reaction. And then you're like, I can build on that. I can sort of change it. Next time I'll do it better or do it differently. And then they'll maybe have a positive reaction, or maybe they'll...
Dude, the amount of serious people I work with is amazing. I spend so much of my day just chipping away, but I love it.
From what you've told me so far.
I sit in there and I'll wait for them to and I'll just go like, and I'll go back to what I'm doing. I won't even say anything sometimes. I'll just say, or also they'll be going like, yeah, we've got 800 units, or we've got like, there's a big problem coming in there. And I go to them and they'll be wearing like a t-shirt that's got, and they'll have forgotten hours ago that they put that t-shirt on in the morning, and they've worn it in, and it was under a coat, and now it was under, you know, and now they're sitting and they're actually operating there, doing their 9 to 5 thing, wearing that t-shirt. And I go, you know, did you know that that Nantucket was actually founded in, you know, sort of thing? And they're like, what are you on about? Why are you talking about that? We're in the middle of a working day. Because you've got
you just like, look at that.
You've got on your shirt, you've got a thing, and they're like, and then you get that little realization grin where they fucked up.
Yeah,
but
you make them fuck
exactly. But you technically fucked up by not doing your job and like just inquiring pointlessly. I don't care what. I just want to tell you about that because I remember. Exactly. Like, and that's the most human thing ever. It's like making serious people laugh as well.
It needs to be done.
Oh, absolutely. They need to laugh. My father was quoting some person years ago to me, and he said, "Oh God, what was it? There is no bastion of authority ever developed by mankind that will stand up to ridicule." Like there was some derivation of that saying.
Yeah, and they say, well, when I say they say, when I studied dictatorships a bit, I believed that the best way to try and fight any kind of tyranny would be comedy. Just taking piss.
Absolutely. That's the word some of the best comedy comes out of, is the most intense, crazy, strictest, poorest, gnarliest parts of the world is some of the best comedy. I mean, some of a great culture for it is France. France is probably one of my all-time favorite because they just took satire to a whole new level.
Well, they invented satire.
The idea of the inside joke, just the joke that's so far inside, and it's like, yeah, like there's people at the tavern down the road are the only people that are going to get this. But you write it, you put it on the front cover, and that, but
publish that shit
exactly, and you just see what happens to it, and it spreads. It spreads, and people start and people start getting into it, and questioning further, and
people want to know. People like the mystery. People want to be in the in crowd.
Yeah, you want to be part of that. Why is that?
Why? I need to know.
Yeah, it's because Jay couldn't tie his shoelaces last Thursday.
It's something really mundane, but they make it into something awesome.
Yeah, and then it becomes a story, and then it has attachment, it has appeal, and you didn't understand before, but you do now. And being foolish or being ignorant of something and then being understanding is a very powerful thing. Like actually being able to really educate somebody in something is one of the most powerful things. Is really you never take it for granted, and it takes you years to get your head around it. Like where you go, like you look at yourself like us in uni, you go, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Why?
I mean, I'm still pretty happy with how I was.
Oh, dude, I
made a lot of fuck ups, but it was
absolutely
worth it.
Yeah, but then you look at yourself like in school, like, but it's just the further back you go, or like some big fuck ups you do in your life, and they're like, you're like the cringe is insane. You crawl inside yourself.
Don't even start with that. I know.
Get in your shell. Oh my god.
Shit, man.
Sorry to bring that one. Remember school? Remember school, Dave?
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, what are you reading at the moment? Literature. Let's unpack some literature.
Pack some literature into it. So, I am currently trying to read My Sister, the Serial Killer, which is a book my friend recommended to me because it was a writer from her country. We were getting a bit on like the country because we're all like basically where I work in Mexico. We're all like people from different countries. Mostly, there's a good deal of Americans. There's a few Brits, and there's people from like my Brazilian friend from like Nigeria. Yeah, there's well, there was 2 other Brits. I think there's only 2 of us now. But yeah, and one of them was like, you need to bring me. What was it? He wanted me to bring a dessert back for him. What's that yellow and pink dessert we have with the marzipan on the outside? Battenberg.
Oh yes.
He wanted
angel cake.
Wow. He called it Battenberg. And he was like, bring me some Battenberg back because I need that stuff again. He's missing home a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a collection of different people from different countries, and so my friend from Africa was like, you need to read this book. It's by an African writer, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm not enjoying it amazingly like I did when I read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That was a book you put me onto. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is.
You finish it and you go.
Yeah. You just have to go. You just have to get out.
I'm leaving. Get me a car. Get me a suitcase full of some horrible substances and send me on my way because I need to unravel this mystery.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
So that's the kind of book. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas or On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Rum Diary.
I don't know if I know that.
Rum Diary is what it's another semi-fictitious one, but it's a bit more accurate of Hunter S. Thompson's before he went absolutely insane and did Fear and Loathing, because that one obviously stretches over so long. But before he did that, he did the Rum Diary, and that's when he was writing for that sports editorial magazine on that island that had a coup on it or something like that. Back when he was working for the newspaper.
Yeah.
And loads of it's semi-true and loads of it's not, and he changes his name slightly, and he's got loads of strange, wacky stories that haven't. I've never read it, but I've read so much of it and read like lots of its history. But yeah,
I haven't found anything that's up to that level.
No.
After I read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I tried reading other books and I just got bored, and I just found it wasn't worth the time. I was like, I'm gonna take time to read this, and I'm already bored. I'm out.
Yeah.
I just kept like voting out on a book, I'd buy it. But well, I tried not to buy it, and I would take a long time over trying to decide. There was one book I was like, gonna take this time of deciding it. Started reading it, and it was well written. I liked how it was written, but at one point it just got really boring. I was like halfway through, I was like, I couldn't deal with a boring book, and it's hard to reach that level that those guys, Kerouac and Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah,
it's hard to be at that level. I don't think I could write like them, but it's good to have read.
aspiring. And,
I could aspire in some ways, yeah.
Yeah,
And some of the
absolutely
ways when I use like a dry humor, I think comes from both
Yeah.
of those guys. Like that sort of sense of dry humor I have used in my book.
You laugh
is
after the
inspired
sentence, but the funny bit is
something by them
still
guys.
earlier on in the sentence. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
basically. That kind of
the
thing.
funny bit's way past, but you're like you're laughing at the whole of it, and nobody else is laughing at the whole of it, whereas
Yeah.
everyone else is laughing at the fact that and he was covered in beans. Like, you know,
And someone like, for example, I wrote a poem, like a short poem that I put in my book, which is like 1 page, and it was inspired by what happened after everything went shit crazy with us guys.
Yeah.
After we finished uni, and I made a stupid mistake, in which, well, yeah, we're not gonna go into that, but I did something stupid. Nearly lost a friend because of it, and I just wrote this angry poem, like putting all my feelings together, and it was a sort of batshit crazy, inspired by Hunter S. Thompson
yeah,
and Jack Kerouac. Just that sort of fucking And I liked that. I was happy with that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, you really feel like
I
you've
felt like I
done
made
something after you
made
finished
something
it.
out of
Yeah,
those difficult and painful moments.
yeah,
I would feel like it's interwoven in most of the book because it has that sort of satirical, sort of taking the piss out of the author while the author's writing it kind
Yeah.
of thing. The author knows he's completely biased because it's me about me.
yeah.
I know I'm biased when I'm writing that. And I'm sort of taking the piss out of it, but in like a dry way that might not be completely obvious.
The bad isn't that bad. The good can always be even better, and the funny shit's not that good.
Yeah,
You know, like that's like you. Like...
Pretty much. There's some bits where I'm just like, don't know why I fucking did this, but I'm just gonna fucking destroy this bike on this.
It's a very interesting way that I've looked at something recently. Is how people is TV shows.
Yeah.
So South Park, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
And when you look at the episodes, they're very simple.
Yeah.
But a very important part of it is the tale. Is when you're telling people to watch it or discussing with people to watch it, and when you start talking about it, you can't. You have to describe
it half-baked.
You have to describe an episode, and when you start describing an episode, you start describing the events of the episode, and the events of the episode are so wonderfully depicted that anybody could talk about it. And you can not only that, but you can do what you want with the content of that episode. You can dress it up, make it funny. You can downplay it. Go like, yeah, so there's these guys, and then you start off disinterested in what you're actually saying, what's coming out your own mouth. And you're like, yeah, and then they get together, and then they like kidnap one of the guys from Rush, and then like the guy from and then they kidnap him so that he can get them Rush tickets, and then he doesn't want to give them Rush tickets because he's actually upset with the fact, and then he starts calling him a male prostitute, and then he's like gets upset, so then he drops all the charges, goes back to it, and they're like, okay, right, so what's next? And you're like, okay, well, we're going to sneak into the gig because we couldn't get tickets, and we live in a trailer park, so we couldn't pay any fines, so we didn't get arrested because we can't pay any ticket because we can't give anyone any money, and we've been to jail so many times there's no point throwing us in jail again. So like, okay, right, we still need to get into the concert. And so they go down the sewer and sneak in via the sewer wearing these outfits, and just exactly discussing the content of that is funny. Just even talking about that is funny. And then when he's here and you watch it for the bazillionth time, it's funny every time you watch it because you find new stupid things to go like because it's real as well. It's based on things that people have done kind of, or experiences in your life where you go, no way did that happen, and you're like, the only reason why I know that happened was because I was there. Otherwise, I find myself explaining stories. Most stories that I tell people at pubs of things that happened to me, I literally sound like I'm lying whenever I say it, because I just can't believe that that's happened to me, that like my life was that interesting after school.
Yeah,
Like,
I felt like some of the things I wrote were more interesting than a normal person traveling would come up with. They were like, how the fuck did you get in that situation? It just happened.
Yeah.
Just some kind of fucking maelstrom of madness.
Yeah. I once saw a guy outside of a club in the smoking area of a place after two kids had tried to vault over one of the crash barriers, and one of them had knocked himself out and was in concussion down the road, being taken over by an ambulance. So that had happened. And that wasn't even part of the main story.
That's just side story.
Yeah. But 2 hours later, some poor gay dude started kicking off massively after having probably a really bad trip on something in the beer garden, and then happened to pick a fight with the only person in the beer garden who was a fourth Dan black belt in some form of martial art or something, and the guy kicked the shit out of him, and I've never forgotten it. I remember seeing the entire thing happen when he used to smoke cigarettes, and I just remember having the fact just literally falling out the side of my mouth, watching this entire event unfold, and it was horrible because the gay dude, like the gay dude was like behaving like an asshole at the beginning and definitely deserved it, but then didn't deserve the amount of it that he got. And the kung fu guy,
too far.
and the kung fu guy, and I remember somebody else on the right hand side of me go, no, don't, because he knows Krav Maga. He knows he knew. I don't know. It was Taekwondo or Aikido or something like that. And the guy knew this thing, and the guy just he destroyed it. It was like just watching somebody beat the living tar out of a human being. And there's nothing anybody could do, because the bouncers are over there, and they're taking care of these kids that have jumped over the crash barrier, the ones who knocked them, like one of them didn't know where they was and shit. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, there's no security, like backhand at my brother, like, where the fuck's the security? And there's just this poor gay dude just getting the fucking he's getting and punched, and and he's gone from and he went from this clean, neatly dressed guy with like kind of floppy hair to just like sweat covered hair, blood just coming down the sides of this guy's face. Like the guy just beat the shit out of him and beat him up against a shop window as well. And it was just wacky. And I was there. I saw all that happen.
And you.
And I was like, I'm not. I don't know how the. Do you want me to get involved in this? Like, I can't fight. I'm not like I can't. Like, if I get involved, this guy, because he's drunk as well. He's a fucking martial arts instructor, and he's shit faced. He's drunk, and he's got a load of it. All of his own mates didn't want to try and stop him as well. And they were all out for some big work do drink thing as well. So they must have known some of themselves. But it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like the things that you see that you just. Wow. Can't believe that. Can't believe I did that. Can't believe I witnessed that. Can't believe that,
There's so many moments when I was in the moment, I would be able to stop, especially when I was traveling just after we finished uni, which is basically when my book takes place. And I stopped in so many moments when I was in Asia, when I was seeing all these new things, when I went to Mexico the first time. And I would just be like, how am I in this situation? And it wouldn't always be in like a sort of mad way. It would be more like, I never thought I'd be able to see this scenery or this. I never thought I'd be able to witness such a beautiful place, such a beautiful spectacle. For example, when I was in Vietnam, I followed some of the route where Top Gear went. You know Top Gear, right?
Oh, what, on that really high?
There's a bit where they stop on a highway, and they stop and look down at like a beach, which has a sort of river going through it. So there's a small little island that's basically just beach, and there's like a boat slowly going past them. They're watching.
Yeah.
And it's all raining on them because they went in the raining season. And I went down that exact same route. I decided to stop at that same point. And I was just like, this is surreal. I never thought I'd be able to go to some of the places where like movies happen, where You know, you kind of get that feeling sometimes, especially when you feel like someone really famous or some kind of amazing event has been portrayed in that same situation,
Yeah.
that same place. And that for me was like, I was able to just sort of sit back from it from a sec. For like a sec, I would just be like, this is awesome. And I would be completely happy for those few moments. And that happened to me a lot. There was another moment where I was driving on this scooter I'd rented for just a day. I was just driving straight down this like thin little road. It just went between a lot of rice fields. So you got like the flooded rice fields on either side, and you got this thin road. And I was just driving full speed, nothing until the mountains about a mile away
In a car.
in a scooter, like a little moped thing. So I was just like, and I fucking love that. I could just feel the air and like the wind in my face, sun. It was a beautiful moment. When I was driving for so long, for like 90% of the time I was driving and that, I was just enjoying the moment. I was completely there, completely happy. And then I stopped. When I did stop, I just decided to like film myself, and I was like, I'm gonna send this to Will and the other guys, just sort of film this. But like, here I am in Top Gear for Dave.
That's beautiful, man.
And that was amazing.
That's beautiful.
Mm.
Have you do you remember that moment in the second, third year house party? When we were at the stairs.
There were a lot.
Third year house party. It's the second one, the
Right.
one that got out of control.
They
Really
all
out of
got
I mean,
out of
the
control.
the Yik Yak one. So the one where some asshole put everybody come to this place. And it
Oh
was
yeah, that was
and,
when Yik Yak was a thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember now.
and all five of us, there was a moment, and it was such an amazing like. Oh wow, we've done this for an hour and 20 minutes, by the way.
That's good.
See, it just
Keeping up with
flies,
it,
doesn't
yeah.
it? Like all of a sudden, you're like, wow, okay.
Damn.
That is the doorbell ringing. I hope Ross has got it.
Yeah, I'm hoping he does. They probably would have rung again though if he hasn't.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. It'd be okay.
I would. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and it was that moment where I don't even know where I came out of. I came out of Andy's room, and Andy was behind me. You were in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
And I
Good
went
place to be.
slightly up the stairs. I came out of that room, went slightly up the stairs, and Richard was at the top with Jack. Richard, Jack. Andy had slightly poked his head out of his room, and then you were in the kitchen, and all five of us looked at each other, and it was a moment I'll never forget. And all five of us looked at each other, and we just all unanimously went, "Let's just let this happen."
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Like,
We were like, it's gonna get out of control. It's gonna be crazy.
We hadn't seen each other
But let's
all
do
evening, and we looked into each other's eyes the moment that moment happened, the moment that it became too much, the moment that we went, oh, okay, shit's out of control. Who the fuck are all these people? Whoa, this is weird.
Just before that, we were like, at least I had been looking at the Yik Yak.
Yeah.
It had been mentioned maybe by Military or by Richard, I can't remember who. But they were like, look at this Yik Yak, because we were living right next to, close to.
You could throw a stone.
Some student halls.
Yeah.
A stone's throw away from student halls. And that was where they were like, there's a party here, it's going to be crazy. Let's go, everyone. And I think just after that, we all saw each other like at the same moment and had that moment like,
just remember,
this is going to be crazy. Let's just do it.
Yeah, let it happen.
Just do it.
If we start to control it, it will get weird. If you start telling people to leave, they'll fight back. If you just gotta let it let it spill out over the side of the glass and wipe up the table after it's done. That's what you can do.
Easy.
All you can do.
And I say easy, but it definitely wasn't. The cleanup afterwards was always a challenge.
Andy in his car.
Military.
I think that was the one after that, though. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, that was the later one. There was one definitely where I had been seeing a girl.
Yeah.
for like a short little bit.
Remember the
And
drain
it went
pipe?
badly. Oh, the drain pipe. The drain pipe.
That was insane! I can't believe that happened. Laura woke me up. Will, there's two girls lezzing out.
It was Jack's room. It was Jack's
Jack's
room.
room.
And Jack was like, he just really wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah, Jack wants to go to sleep and he can't get into
He can't get into his own room because they'd locked the door. But the window was a little bit open. And then I was like, I've been practicing climbing recently. You know, I got this.
Yes.
And I climbed up and I actually made it through that window. I managed to like sort of swivel it open and then climbed in through the window. And there were these two girls and they were both pretty good looking. And they were both like, what are you fucking doing? Yeah, one of them had a boyfriend.
Picked her up at the end of that party. I
But
shit you not, that happened.
That one who had a boyfriend, I'm pretty sure, was like,
She was a loose cannon, man. She was
yeah,
crazy
she
one.
was crazy.
She was fucking crazy.
But
And her boyfriend was so mellow. He was like one of the most mellow dudes that I'd ever met in my life. I was like, no way you going out with that. No way.
No way can you put up with that.
No
But
way.
she was like, oh yeah, just join us in the bed. This is something that I didn't decide to say at the time because just too many different things. And they were both off their faces. Well, they looked off their faces.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Richard's
you're way
room.
too drunk for that anyway. And this isn't my room, so no, I'm just going to have to get you guys out of here. And it was like...
Were they naked? Were they naked?
They were at least partially naked. They were like half naked.
A boob.
I think they were boobs.
Okay. Because most of them had slipped into Richard's room. I felt so sorry for Richard's room, but it was his fault for unpacking. His room was sent well. Because nobody was in there. And it was at the top of the stairs, so people come in, they drop your coats off, and then just go upstairs. They're like, all right, let's go and key up quickly before we go and join the rest of the house. So they just go into Richard's room. I walked into Richard's room, and there were loads of like 18, 19-year-old like people. Like there was 3 girls and a dude in there.
To be fair, we were all about 20, 21.
Yeah, none of which I'd met before though. None of which I'd met.
Assuming it's okay to burst in.
No.
Oh, hello.
The gardener's been.
Yeah, fantastic.
You ordered some seeds. So.
Oh, okay. We'll take that. We have a new addition.
What do you need to
I
find?
can purchase in the corner here. Don't mind me.
Okay, we have been joined by.
We've
just been talking about women doing copious amounts of drugs in Richard's room.
Yes.
Saying about the fact that the house in third year was set up so that you'd go into the house.
Yeah.
You put your coat in Andy's room, or
It would get dumped in Millie's room.
Yeah, and then you'd drop your beer off in one of the coolers, and then you'd go upstairs to go and see, because everybody would always go upstairs. They would go to Andy's room. Upstairs.
Rich had 2 rooms.
There was always something happening in Will's room as well. There was always like music at least.
My room
going on. There was a good vibe.
My room was gaming because we wanted to do gaming. We normally were going to do gaming in
military
and the conservatory.
Oh yeah.
We were going to do gaming conservatory, but the conservatory was way too good for
and because it was, especially in summer,
when everybody
it was
wanted
still warm
to smoke
and lights out. People wouldn't smoke.
Yeah,
wouldn't go outside.
So yeah, my room turned into the like kind of music and art hub where you could sit and chill and spin out if you wanted to.
My room was
spinning out in my room.
I don't know how I managed it, but my room managed to become like a sort of escape if you needed to for like 5-10 minutes. Because Richard's room would always be occupied by some weird shit happening.
Richard's room was
Will's room had a vibe going, and my room was just like a silent little escape. And then you get back to it.
Yeah, in terms of sort of insulation and volume and stuff, it's really no quieter than the rest of the house. But yeah, I think most people, because you were for some time you weren't even there for it. So there was one night where I wasn't there for the party. I was sad. I missed it. I slept in your bed that night.
You're welcome for that. As long as it was us, you know. But
you also did this thing. I don't remember what night in particular this was, but you're not allowed to play with Dave's keyboard. But I played. With keyboard.
Well, I didn't want people like destroying it because it was kind of expensive.
Oh no, I would have treasured it.
Yeah. I know Ross would have been fine.
He was extra protective because I played it with my willy.
Yeah. What song did we play? Come as you are.
Oh, it's good. It's good. And
the jar is in the kitchen.
I don't know what the jar is. Sounds good though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right. We'll probably be done in.
maybe give it like another hour.
Yeah.
Depends how we feel.
Hour. Well. Good man. Good man.
See how
I
we
like
feel.
that.
I'm down for another hour.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we'll get in touch with you.
I have my phone on me. I have my phone on me.
Take mine. I'll go to my room.
Okay,
Wait,
go hide in your room.
where's my-
Oh, it's over there.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
There were insane things that happened. I was saying about how one party, I think it was the second one we had, she wasn't my ex, but we'd been seeing each other, like gone on a few dates, and it ended a bit weirdly because the last party, so basically I invited her to a house party, which I realized after the fact was a bad idea because I just drunkenly told someone to fuck off when he said that the music playing wasn't really very good. I was like, this guy can fuck off then. And I was like,
Yeah.
apparently, according to
Why
her.
did they choose you to go up to what?
That was a stupid idea.
You weren't even in charge of the music.
No.
Why?
At least at that point, I wasn't.
What a dick.
I don't know.
Who the fuck is this person in a house party?
Just
They
in
were
the house party,
like,
like,
"Ah,
what about the
Dave,
music?
I don't like the music. Ha! Take that, you
And I
scoundrel.
was telling this guy to fuck off, and I was a bit drunk, so I think according to her, I was saying that I would fight him. I was like, fight you. And then she was like, oh, you really have water, and I can't see you anymore because of that. And I was like, right, okay. And then she showed up to the next house party without even saying anything to me
Who
beforehand.
did she know? Did she know somebody that was there?
She knew someone who probably knew someone else.
Oh,
You know,
that's how
it was
most
that
people
kinda-
turned up.
Yeah, most people just
turned up
showed up
through-
uninvited.
Yeah, I didn't
And they'd
invite
show up as friends of
2/3 people.
friends.
Yeah.
And she came with like a friend of a friend, I think. And like I saw her come into one of the house parties, and she was like, "Oh, I hope this is okay." I was like,
Not
"You don't really care, do
No,
you?"
even if I say no, you're gonna stay. So I just what the fuck
I
does it
just
matter?
at that point I was just like, "Yeah, it's fine. Just fuck off and enjoy yourself." So yeah,
Dude,
that
I
was
love
the sort of shit that went down.
Oh, I love the garage. The
Garage
garage
was
was my favorite
fucking bonus
because
thing we
it
had.
was so like nothing happened in there. Like most of the time, like 23 hours a day, nothing happened in there. But
Mhm.
one, it had its time. It like I'd go in there
Yeah.
and there'd be two different sound systems in like that same space, and
Yeah.
then somebody would turn, and then Fabio would be like in charge of one of them, and just like Fabio used to just like he used to narrate beer pong. It was one of the most
Fabio
amazing
was
things. He
just
controlled the
on top of
garage.
it.
Even though he didn't
Yeah.
live there or anything. I'd go in there and he's setting up a beer pong tournament. He's got a
Fucking
whiteboard
Fabio.
I've never seen before. He's got like things like not a whiteboard. He's got everyone's names on his phone and was like tallying
Yeah,
everyone up
yeah.
for it. It was so cool.
Mate, he played it well.
It was so good. Oh god. Yeah, and then we played on that table we played on the table that had the white. Do you remember the white covered table?
Oh yeah,
like
it was peeling off, wasn't it? At one point,
yeah, towards the end.
Towards
Yeah,
the end of
definitely
our
was.
rampage in that
Oh,
house.
it was so good.
It
And
was good.
I took a date back one day, and there were
good.
like two people, and Richard and Jack were both reading books in the paddling pool. No, they were playing Xbox in the paddling pool outside. Which
We
I
definitely
had
had
not.
a few things of that.
I'd
We
never
got like
seen the
lots of
paddling
boiling
pool.
water and filled the paddling pool up with boiling water, and just sort of made it into a giant kind of make your own jacuzzi. We tried that. It was interesting.
Oh, it's because we wanted to get a jacuzzi, but never ended up getting one. It was too expensive.
It was way too
Too
expensive.
expensive to
That
get
was
the hot
out of our price range.
We had a fire pit.
We did have a fire pit, luckily, and we had a pretty good sized garden. Like
And a
no one
bouncy
else had a
castle.
garden our size.
We had a bouncy castle.
For one of them,
two.
Millie. Oh, I think I wasn't there for a second.
Oh.
But there are like pictures that I found of me on my phone on that bouncy castle, and I don't remember going on it. I was like, when did this happen?
I've never seen them.
I don't know if I have them on
Dude,
this phone, but
Dude,
I will find them. I will dig those up.
If
and
anyone has
show you
photographs of any of the house parties, because I never used my phone.
I
I literally turned
didn't,
because
that I know of.
Yeah, I only ever use my phone so I could go like, oh yeah, this is where the house is, or yeah, this is where I need to go, because I'd just be getting friends. Like,
you would get
friends
people
in
just coming
from-
out of the woodwork, like, I need to know where your house is.
And
You'd
then
be like,
and if
here
it's
it
not,
is. Okay, just come.
yeah, and if it's not there, then it's connected up to one of the sound systems playing
Yeah,
music, or it's
That's what was happening.
And I can't be taking pictures or anything like that, and I don't like it when people are just walking around taking pictures of house parties, because it's a party is also a private time for people. There's something sacred,
especially when there's a lot of shit happening.
Exactly, like especially when it's because it's not your business. It's nobody's business. Like
I get
what
that.
goes on in that environment,
But there's some people that get so into just recording, like taking so many pictures of everything. They're like, "Oh my god, this is awesome! I'm gonna take a picture of it."
Yeah,
and you're like, "Sure,
just for my Facebook fans," which is probably normally me sometimes. Like, just for you guys. I say that, but I'm gonna be like one of those people.
I mean, I've been tempted into that trap a lot of times, but I have realized when I've done it afterwards, I just haven't enjoyed the moment as much. I'm like, I wish I had just not taken a photo and just felt how good that was, you know.
We had live Mario Kart at one point in the conservatory. That was good. Yeah, in the conservatory in the third year, we set up as many chairs and things as possible. And Jordan, on his back when he started working at Vodafone, I think it was, and he had insane internet. He could use his phone as a hotspot, and he could play people on his Xbox using his phone as a hotspot.
You see, these were the things that we managed to get to happen as a house. We would somehow manage to rig up a live Mario Kart thing, or have a jacuzzi that was made out of a kid's paddling pool, or have a bouncy castle at a house party full of just crazy shit happening. And we just found the right people to get these situations to happen, and it was incredible.
Oh yeah, we changed up our tactics after second year, because second year was a huge learning curve. Second year taught me how to do a house party properly. I thought I knew before, I didn't. Third year, you realize, because in third year we had a committee every time. We had a committee.
Yeah, we always had to sit down with each other. We were like, right, let's discuss this.
Okay, we're going to do this. Who's in charge of that? Right, these are the things that need to be done. Who wants to do what? And then you go right, within each of those things, we have a few jobs. As long as everybody does their jobs, it's gonna fucking happen. And then we come together the day before, make sure that everybody sourced and resources, everything had arrived or was arriving, or they were messaging the people that were, it was perfect. And then all of a sudden, it just, if you create the conditions for it, the perfect storm arrives every time, without fail.
And we managed to make that happen
3 times.
I don't know how much of that I can give to myself. I don't think I was a huge input on that.
Oh, dude, everybody did stuff. Everybody had.
There was little inputs.
But it's also the little things as well. Like food and snacks is what some people take for granted. But if you just leave food and snacks, they get eaten.
Yeah.
If you just leave, we always had a tray of food. We always had places for people to eat stuff, because you just people party too hard sometimes, and you need a bit of food and a bit of no. Don't worry, it's not booze. It's just a mixer. It's just
mixer.
It's just mixer.
Chill with the vodka.
It's water.
Put it down.
It's not vodka.
Put down the vodka.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's just water. Here you go. And have that. Enjoy. It's fine. We did it. You're not being a party pooper, just enjoy yourself. But then that's why your room's probably the handy place, is because then you can go there and you can escape from the horde. Yeah.
So often I would just go up and see someone just sort of sometimes it was Ross just on my piano, just sort of chilling themselves out in my room.
I'd walk past your room and I'd see somebody that I'd go where is this person? Or why aren't they answering their phone? And they'd be on their phone in your room.
They'd be on one of their friends' phones.
Yeah, or
trying to text their friend.
And they're in your room, just doing something. Because it's a sanctuary. They're not in.
It was a sort of escape.
There's no way you can sit in a Richard spare room, because never did anything with it. Bless him. But
no,
but Richard's normal room though was just the amount I laughed at. I found that so funny. I found it so funny because it's I thought the psychology of it was brilliant. If you leave a bed in a room in a house party,
he was always gone for the house parties as well.
He
was there for. I think that was the one you talked about earlier.
Oh, that was the first one.
But there was like so many that he wasn't there for the house party.
Yeah, he was there for two. He was there for
Okay,
two because he turned up late for one of them. Remember, he turned up right at the end.
Yeah.
And he was really drunk.
Who does that?
Like he was,
Which
oh
does
mate,
that?
I'm already drunk.
You're
But
like,
he was late though as
what
well.
on?
So everybody was really drunk as well. We were like, sorry, come and join. Like, you know, and just get him on the couch. And, you know. Oh, dude, I miss having a fucking white mint couch in my white mint leather couch in my bedroom.
I bet you miss that fucking couch.
Dude,
did you leave it there? Oh, you still got the table. Yeah,
no, I found this in a shop in Fareham.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And
it looks
it's
like
exactly
your
the same
table.
one.
Yeah.
It is. This is exactly the same one. I poo-pooed for ages it being the same one, and I was like, nah, it's not the same one.
Jack was just like, I know.
Well, we're pretty sure it is not the exact same one.
It's like the same style, and that's
but
important.
It is exactly the same style. Yeah, it's exactly the same one. Yeah, go for it. But yeah.
No.
Oh,
so good.
Amazing times. That was a bit of a. I mean, Dave and I could sit here for for a couple of probably a good few weeks and probably only get through half of what we did at uni, like in terms of like partying, what people actually said and did, and
it would go way out of any kind of definition, you know.
Yeah, and you think
refused definition of what we would say.
Well, you think third year was crazy as well. Second year is insane.
Mad.
Second year was insane because nobody remembers all of second year. Nobody.
True.
Not one person. True. And there was no photographic evidence because you couldn't see anything in the living room. Exactly. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Completely guilt-free.
Andy with the chicken nuggets.
So much shit happening.
It's so rad.
And there were hearts broken. There was like fucking drama. You could make a telenovela or just some kind of soap opera out of all of that. But maybe just one room would be its own soap opera. Will's room soap opera, my room soap opera. Man.
And you never see the rest of the house. You just see from the inside. And Lois's room would tell 1,000 stories.
Oh yeah.
Lois's room was hilarious. Like just coming downstairs.
And probably he wasn't there for most of the time, you know?
Yeah, he's working.
He was working so much. There were so many times when I just remember his room being empty, and then we would just use it as like a sort of add-on to whatever we were doing.
You go and check on things. You'd be like, has Lewis got any of that in at the moment? He's got mixer.
Like, oh look, he's got some kind of hidden alcohol. Maybe we shouldn't touch that. We'll get onto that.
Not touch that
too
one.
Much.
This one, and he'd have like some bottle of something cheap.
Alcohol.
But we'd always mention it to him as well. We'd be like, Lewis, I hope you don't mind, you did leave a bottle of this in the room, so we did pill for a bit. And he was like, did you touch the? And we go, no, we didn't touch it.
He would have like the one specific thing we knew not to touch.
We knew not to touch the not touch thing, and not once did we get in trouble for anything.
Yeah,
like that.
He was cool with it.
Yeah, it's so sly. And then first year as well.
First year, man.
First year.
You already mentioned the Corona.
I know.
That was just a staple. That was a staple.
The problem is second year was so wild, you just can't really talk about it. Third year was wild, but it was a bit more almost high society wild, like third year. Whereas second year was just crazy.
Second year was just mad. First year, I went out with you every Thursday.
Every Thursday we went out to Sheik's, or
we would go to Sheik's every Thursday. And right at the beginning of the night, you would wander off, and you would be like in some kind of, you'd be in your own shit. And you would just be like, I gotta go. There are things I gotta do. My people need me, or that kind of shit, you know? And I would just be left with these people I didn't know. And I would just be like, what the fuck am I gonna make of this? And Will would be like in this area that he knew well, all these people he knew really well. And he would just be like, I'm off, I'm gonna do my own thing right now, I'll be back. And sometimes Will would come back. It'd be good. It was great when Will came back. But there's so many times I was just like, shit, what am I going to do with these people that I don't know?
Oh, I apologize.
No. It was you doing you. It's good for you, man. But
I kept bumping into other wackadoodle people. Like I met
you always did.
The other thing is that you meet loads of really insane. You lose a load of insane, incredible, fantastic, brilliant conversations to go to another load of insane, fantastic, brilliant, incredible conversation. So you just don't. You don't know. You never know what lily pad to land on. Sometimes and you're like, and like the great moments is when you leave the bar or something, and you're looking, and you're like, oh, there's an amazing thing happening. I know they're going off to do that, and they're doing that, and they've invited
that
to this,
so often,
and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, exactly, and you're like, or you can't find the party that you've arrived with because they've all split off or done another thing.
They always go somewhere else, and they're like other ends of the planet by the end of the night. It feels.
We'd have quite a few nights that we went out, and we everybody actually stayed together as well, though.
Especially in second and third year.
Yeah, we were a lot more of a clicky in the third year. We'd have actual nights out on town, and
it'd be fun.
And the SU was great as well. I love the SU. I take the piss and DJ Leroy Fish. But
didn't he leave during third year?
I have no idea. Yeah,
he vanished at some point.
He got replaced.
It's like, oh no, who will we make fun of now?
And we went to go and see Professor Green.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so did I.
It was short as fuck.
You and I had a great time because we spent the evening, and we won't go into this too much, but we spent loads of the evening fighting off a certain lady that was seeing one of our friends at the time. That she kept attacking us both. Do you remember her?
You're gonna have to remind me after. You're gonna have to remind me exactly.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can't say her name.
Maybe that's a situation that could have been in two
but that was good though.
Planes, but shit, man.
That was good. That was yeah.
Mate, we had a lot of fun with that. We had a lot of fun. And it was just suitable for the whole story of our uni experience. That at the end, it did end in like a sort of almost sour way, at least from my perspective, because we all it felt like everyone went their own way for a bit. There were bits where I felt like I just needed to be my mates, and everyone was busy, or I just couldn't for some reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, I railed against that feeling until I went to Venice for the first time. And that first night in Venice, I was lucky enough to be on holiday with my family, and we were like going on a cruise from Venice down to Jerusalem way. And that first night in Venice, we landed at a hotel right on the Grand Canal. So it was a beautiful spot. You could see one of the famous bridges from
the Rialta.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And that first night I couldn't sleep much, but I had a whole huge room to myself. And I just sort of sat down at this heavy wood desk, probably older than fucking the USA or something.
Probably.
And I just opened the balcony so I could feel the sort of calm, because it just
no traffic. There's no cars.
Couldn't hear any cars from there.
No.
And it was the sort of feeling like just after it rained, or while it was still raining a tiny bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like annoying, but you can sort of feel the calm after the rain. And it came through with the cool wind. I just sat at my desk writing for about half an hour. And I just understand everything. I had been in like a bad place before that.
Yeah.
I'd been like angry with myself and with everything. I just no. Everyone had their own shit to deal with. I just sort of put everything in place calmly and happily. That was a beautiful moment.
Very zen.
Yeah. I love Venice since that moment. That's
something that it takes you being that age in that environment, doing those things to actually understand.
Yeah.
And it's something I've definitely had the almost the same epiphany growing up when you go like, it's just people are busy.
Yeah.
Shit's difficult. You can't do everything.
For everyone.
People, what's that? Sort of another religio one, but man makes plans and God laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I love that saying. My uncle told that to me when I was a kid. I was like, that's really cool.
I like that.
Yeah. It's the being able to appreciate one another in the doldrums. Oh, another thing from first year, port and cheese.
Port and cheese
night.
That happened in your room, didn't it?
Yeah, we had cheeky Vimtos as well.
It was good because you were almost just below me. You're like below me and one over.
So it was underneath James. And Ollie sent me a noise complaint one evening.
Of course he did.
Bastard.
He was, yeah. Ollie was a wild card as well. I swear.
He was.
He could have been great fun.
But he fucked himself over though by not living with Jack.
There was a situation.
He should have lived with Jack. Nah, but he's doing his own. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Crack on.
Let him be him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The only reason why I have any recourse about that is because I did miss him for a while, and I still do the thing on my laptop, my escape screen is still the same.
As him.
It's still me, Eli, Jack Collard, and Ollie Baxter, the four of us in my room pulling stupid faces in like the fourth week of uni.
Yeah,
ever.
That was
And yeah, I just still
Yeah, I know, man. I know, man.
Right in the fields.
Right in the fields. Right in the fields, man.
Oh, dude. The crack-a-lackin' though. It's good shit.
Damn good shit. We all definitely lived as much as we could.
Yeah.
When we were at uni, we did everything that we could.
I don't feel like there was any opportunity that we necessarily missed at all, or missed out on, or didn't. It felt like we really did everything that we.
Yeah, it felt like we lived to the maximum. No stone was left unturned.
No, it's like being Motley Crue for a day.
Yeah,
it's that you describe it's very strange when you meet a lot of. I don't like using this term, but normal people. When you meet a lot of day-to-day people, and you meet a lot of commuters and whatnot, people that don't live. It's weird because when you go out into the normal world, you realize how many people have not and do not, and probably may never, but are still enthralled by it, live like that. People just don't live like that. A lot of people just don't, or haven't, or could go. Yeah. I could never do that, or I could. I don't know if I could.
And I've always hated hearing that.
Yeah,
it's like they're giving
in.
Yeah, putting a wall against something that they haven't even tried. Like, no, never do that.
But the cool ones, though, are the people that haven't lived like that, but have a fascination with it, though, still, that have a fascination with how you would have, or you've lived like it. And because you don't think anything of it, because you've
done it.
You've done it, yeah. And you've not just done it, but you've done it for like 4 years in a row, every day. Every day you wake up and you do that,
Yeah.
Every day I wake up and this happens. And then this, and then this, and then it's lunch.
Yeah.
And then it's this, and then it's this, and then it's this.
And they're like, how can you do all that before lunch? And you're like,
you just did. You just wake up and you just do all of that stuff with these people.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's just not a normal thing to do, but it's brilliant. It's like, right, we're going to do that. It's lunchtime. Like, a few beers at lunchtime, and back into the lecture hall. And oh shit, I've got to go and write an essay. And you're like, I come down during an essay, and then you're like, and then somebody's like, oh yeah, we are having a house party this evening. I forgot to message you. And
then you would always be like, well, I gotta go.
I've got to go because I live there. Yeah. So
it would be house me.
I can't opt out.
Okay.
And you're like, well, there's a McCool's on the way home, so I could pick up a bottle of something nice, and all within 5 minutes you're already on board with going on a night out that you had. Sorry, on a big night that you weren't even on board with. And it's
that
like
was one of the first things Jack ever said about me. And he was like, he said it in a weird way. It was sort of, I don't know where he was going out with the way he said it, but he said that I always said yes to everything.
Yeah.
And that was why we were there. In my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the same thing to me. Was like I just wanted to, like, uni was a place I could come up with a crazy idea. I'd voice it in the room, and 90% of people would go, "Yeah, all right." I go, "No way!"
Like, what?
Yes, we're actually gonna do it. And I knew, like, I could
was
from the tone. And you
like, yes, yes.
You can come up with some wackadoodle idea that no sane human being would come up with, and everybody would do it. And it would be a cracking time, and before you blinked, it was all not over, but you're waking up for the next one.
Yeah,
the next cool thing that you're gonna do. But yeah,
put us on this kind of mad path and ended up taking spirals and turns everywhere.
It's still
going.
rock and roll, really.
We're still rock and roll.
It's still rock and roll. It doesn't. I bumped into a few people in London a few months ago.
Yeah.
And they're all 42, 44, and they have multiple kids, very happy homes, flats, everything, and they still live faster or as fast as we ever have, which gives me
Nicely done.
Great hope for the future of my own life. But I'm like, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm like, because I don't, one doesn't want to live too hard, but at the same time, you don't
want to miss out.
No, I don't want to miss out, and I don't want to say that I didn't show up to the party. I don't want to say that I want to be able to say to people I was there.
Yeah. You want to say that you put your cards in, you played your cards.
Yeah.
And even if your cards didn't turn out amazingly, you still played.
Yeah.
And there was beauty in the playing.
Absolutely, well said. And you'd never know in 10, 15 years' time if it's all of a sudden there's some weird rule, law, or anything comes out, and all of a sudden it's all over.
Yeah, you never know.
All of some weird normal thing that you just go, yeah, let's go and do this, and you're okay. You're not allowed to do that anymore. What? That's it.
Sure. But hey.
Here's to us, my friend. Cheers on water, which is the only non-alcoholic thing that we have left on the table, apart from that Jack Daniels, which is looking a little bit heavy at the moment.
That'll be later.
Oh, we have more beer in the fridge.
I may also need a toilet break.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'll tell you. Do you want to go toilet and beer, and I will?
Oh, I see. I'll do some running. You do some commentary.
I'll keep the commentary going. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you still listening on the wavelengths, this is our new beautiful place of living. We are based still in the south of England. We've only moved left slightly from where we were living in Chichester, and now based in Farnham. It's beautiful. We've fallen in love with the house. We've already put in a bit of decoration in, and just getting the last of the furniture in. What Dave is sitting on right now is 1/3 of a total of 3 of course the third is total 3 of a couch, and it is a recliner as well, double recliner, and the single solitary non-recliner, but yeah, it's we're trying to get functions really for the house going at the moment. I mean, in terms of each room, so we've got bedrooms and kitchens mainly, but living room and this room. So this room is the den, and it's going to be sort of the music chill zone vibe out, kind of not. You can do what you want in here, and then living rooms. Obviously, we want it to be social hub, but we don't want the living room to turn into some bare spot as well. We don't want it to turn into some place where you go, people just come in here because you can do what you want in here. We want the living room to have a comfortable, inviting vibe where one would be in here and you'd be almost jealous if you weren't in there enjoying that. There's got to be something, real and proper happening in there. I'm just wondering who our single one viewer is at the moment. Live viewer. Oh wow, we're on 2 hours. Barely feels like it at all. Dave has been a very long-term friend of mine. Known each other since 2013. So it's amazed how long ago that is now. Almost. There's probably some of our viewers go, oh, well, long ago at all. But don't know why they're northern. But yeah, we've had a lot of amazing moments together. I've been playing quite a bit of bass recently. I've been up until off o'clock in the morning, drinking, playing video games, watching Christmas movies on my days off, and even on my days in when I have to be in it really early in the morning, I find a very dense period of restlessness before I am able to fall asleep. And I'm tired all day, knackered all day, and then the moment that I get into bed, I'm wide awake. And I know that's cliche as all is hell, but it's something that I haven't experienced in a very long time. It's not something. It's something that comes in big waves. And I'm wondering whether or not it's going to be a seasonal or some yearly thing, or how often is that going to happen to me? Should I expect it in the future? Should I be looking at times when it's going to be more likely to happen to me? Ins and gun, please. Session IPA. Thank you very much. I was just talking about the fact that recently I've got that period of because you're jet lagged anyway, aren't you? So,
I'm a bit fucked up with my sleeping pattern.
Yeah, but I even on school nights when I've not slept the night before, so by all intents and purposes, the moment I do get into bed, I should be knackered and should feel that tiredness. I don't. I get into bed, and immediately my creative brain wakes up, and I go like, "Oh, let's get the projects out, paper, everything. Let's get the base, and okay, we're going to need to make notes on these ones, right? Okay, let's tackle this one." And and all of a sudden,
goes into overdrive.
An hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, and then before I know it, it's 6 a.m. I got to be working 3 hours. I've slept 5 hours the night before. I'm going to sleep 3 hours this night, and I'm going to wake up the next day, and you've got that weird toxic headache that kind of spreads throughout your entire body. You're like,
I know exactly what you're
like there's no
about.
amount of showering coffees or anything that makes you feel any better.
Or you too many coffees.
You ever do that stupid thing as well where you're like, I'm going to put moisturizer on to try and wake myself up?
Oh yeah, I tried that.
That never works.
Not at all.
Yeah,
it's a fucked up situation now.
I'm enjoying my oversleep at the moment though, like being able to wake up and I just go like, I'm.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, cheers, absolutely. Thank you so much. Oh, pleasure. Mm.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Piston head, huh?
That's really good. I've had piston head before.
It says it's Scottish.
Yay! AP!
I can't take Braveheart seriously after watching it with you.
They take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom! I work with a Scottish bloke at the moment, and he's not like incredibly Scottish, but if he's discussing Scottish things, he will become more Scottish as
his
he
accent
discusses
changes like that.
It does. I do notice these things.
Yeah.
And because I sound very un-Scottish, I'm waiting for him to try and out-Scot me at some point because he won't be able to.
Okay.
Definitely can out-Scot this man.
You're gonna out-Scot
a competitive thing, absolutely.
Right.
No, but he's got the accent though. But I reckon it's all like so through and like, oh yeah, well, I'm from here and that, and then my family actually moved down south for a bit, and like and all that jazz. Where I'm going to be like, well, my grandfather was from a place that no longer exists. That's how Scottish he is. It's an industrial estate.
Fucking love it.
I think it's from like Northern Ireland as well. Before that, called like Donegal and Buncrana or something.
When it goes back after my grandparents, I don't know much, and I know my grandparents are just English.
You've got a bit of African type origin, something in there somewhere.
Maybe.
I have
go back a long way.
I have Moroccan on my grandfather's side.
Oh, that's interesting.
Somewhere, which is weird.
I've got a Viking apparently on my father's side.
Quite a bit of Viking from
French
my grandmother's side.
On my mum's side. But I don't know much.
I remember when I first met you, you said you were French.
Part French. But I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how much to trust that kind of thing.
It is French. Parlez-vous français? Non. Aha, I got you. We just we hit the 2 hour mark a few minutes ago.
Ooh,
darling. We're doing absolutely. We're
doing a good
first podcast in the new house, last podcast of the year,
gotta make
and
nice
our first podcast together as well.
Oh,
of course, absolutely. I'm not doing anything really later on this evening.
I have no plans.
Look forward to some form of gaming session involving loud music.
Oh yeah, we will need
at some point.
blow some steam.
We'll start looking into that in about half an hour, probably.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes.
Is it 8 o'clock?
It is nearly 9.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
How did that happen?
Oh, dude, to be fair, this podcast has been fantastic. This has been really good.
There have been some nice little avenues we've gone down.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed that.
It's really good. This is another reason why I love doing it, is because especially if it's somebody that I haven't seen in a while, I feel like I really
There'll be some hidden gems, you know.
Yeah, and it's to sit and talk to somebody, and to just no bullshit, no music, no controller in my hand, or no
no like
phones,
scripts,
and
no
scripted, and there's not. And the only people that are involved in the conversation are the people that are either dropping in and out or have microphones to them. And there's something I love
magical.
It's magical.
With that.
It's magical, and you recorded it, and it's there, and you existed
it's a good
in that
conversation
time.
with a good friend, and you have it forever.
Absolutely, it's so cool that. It's like when you see those things in the 90s and sitcoms where people are like, I'm gonna go record Grandmother. I'm gonna go and sit and record.
Yeah,
and they get the little
they'd have
recording
to go
device
in a
and
full
stuff.
process. It'll take a long time.
Exactly. I've just decided I'm cutting the head off that. I'm getting my grandmother on for one podcast in March next year.
Oh
sweet, yeah, dude.
Sweet.
Oh, she's gonna run rings around me. I'm gonna die. I can't wait.
Bet. It'll be fun.
Oh,
it'll be fun.
Christ!
No, I've been tempted, like, with just some normal interactions. I've just wanted to record it, especially since being back in England. Like, coming back to England after being in Mexico for 9 months for me, it's kind of surreal.
Yeah.
And some people I know in Mexico would be interested in things that are just mundane in England. For example, someone asked me to record like just a train in England, because there's not many passenger trains in Mexico. There's a lot of trains that do cargo.
Trains.
Yeah, they have freight trains like all over the place. But for example, in Querétaro, in Puebla, and Veracruz, it's not so common to get passenger trains. And so, like, some people just don't know what it's like to take a train to another part of the country.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, literally yesterday, I was recording the train as it came in. You know, it was just that the guy who was driving was like looking at me like, "The fuck is this guy doing?" I was like,
"Oh, not one of you guys. I thought we got rid of you."
And yeah, it's just some fucked up different level shit when you can just show something that you've known your whole life and it's pretty normal for you, and you show it to someone else and they're like, that's incredible. And like, just showing pictures of countryside in England, people in Mexico and the USA are just fascinated by it.
They're really like, people.
My friends were like, "You're making me want to go there." I was like, "Why haven't you thought about this kind of thing before?" You know.
People in the US that I've bumped into always get hard on about England and things and stuff. It's very strange to me. Anyway,
for me in Mexico and the USA, like, you're the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
So it's just completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah. So I'm really pumped to go there soon. Can't wait to go. It's not the whole thing of like, is America a culture and that question and whatnot. It is America as a culture, like, and I love it.
Yeah,
I really do. And I love the whole self-questioning parts of it and everything. The, you know, from the on the land of the free and the home of the, you know, all the way from the patriotic side of craziness, you know, like, and then the most religious side, and then you also get the other side as well, where people, it's just, you can't. It's like you can't get people that just want to tell its own country to go and fuck itself any more than anywhere else. Like a country that just like people like Kurt Cobain and Jello Biafra and people like I'm trying to think of like other people like, you know, South Park.
Yeah,
it was just like, I think we should go and fuck ourselves because I think we don't know what we're talking about, and we should look at the information a lot more before digging this, you know, things like that. And they are a real country of that, where, you know, one half of the population does this, and then the other half roll their eyes.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, they do that a lot. By the looks of it, I don't know. It's different, and sometimes I've been trying to show the difference, because in some parts of Mexico, some people have come up to me and they've said, "You are basically just an American from the other side of the planet. And I'm like, no.
No.
Because they're like these white people who speak the same language must be the same. Some people.
Wow.
Not everyone thinks that way. That I've come across
But that is
enough to annoy me.
I think that's cool though. Like not I mean it's uncool obviously to think that, but I mean it's cool. Like I don't know. It's like
It's interesting.
Interesting is a better word. Yeah. That is so interesting. Like that you think I'd love to sit down and talk with somebody like that because I'd love nitpicking the fuck out of shit like that.
Mate,
too.
you would tear it apart, and it would be good.
Yeah.
And there are some like stereotypes which just go and continue being stereotypes. Like once I was talking to someone, they were like, "Smells of urine." And I was like, "Okay." They're like, "It must have been one of the indigenous people." I was like, "Whoa."
Whoa.
Chill.
That's like something you say in year 9 in
Yeah,
school
that's like
to be
kid
a twat. Like, what?
And some people genuinely believe that.
No.
And it's happened more in my experience being in certain parts of Mexico.
Yeah, you must
And
meet
I'm
a
like,
lot of prejudice
fuck.
going to some areas.
There's a lot of prejudice. Like when I left the place I was living,
Yeah.
like one of the best friend of one
I
of my
nearly just said something really
ex-housemates.
prejudiced. Spanish people are really prejudiced. Look at the irony, it loops.
Yeah, don't loop it, man. Don't loop it. At least you're aware of it. But no, like,
Anyway, sorry.
for example, one example that I have is that one of the people who was best friends with my now ex-housemate said to me, "Oh, it's a good thing you left." He sent me a message on Facebook before I blocked him, and he was like,
before you blocked him.
I forgot he was a thing because I thought he wasn't on my friends list, but apparently he was. He had 2 accounts, and it was weird. But he was like, "Oh, it's good you've left because we were up to our necks with you. We're just sick of you. Go back to your own country." I was like, "Fuck off! Come on, who says that anymore?" Like, I just realized that some people still hold on to that shit.
Yeah.
Where I've got used to being around people who are not on that anymore. And then being back in Mexico put me in a different sort of ambiance, different group of people. And I came across people who were still like, "I'll go back to your own country." And that for me sounds like the old people who are racist in England. Old people who are racist and just like, "Oh, they need to go back to their own country." Blah, blah, blah. They say stupid things.
It
But
does feel weird
this
that
was
that
like
exists.
someone who was 27 years old and saying it. That was like,
Yeah, like somebody
it's
abused.
weird.
There was the person who used to live in my old room in the house that we've just left. Used to be a Holocaust denier.
Damn.
So, and he was 28. He was like 28,
Yeah.
29. Yeah.
When I've been growing up, I've been thinking that because we've been
tomorrow.
educated differently,
Yeah.
because we grew up in a country where there was the internet and we could see people were all people. You can be talking to someone
Yeah.
regardless of race or where they're from,
Yeah.
and you realize everyone's just a person.
Yeah.
And because we grew up with that, I thought that people our age
Everybody
would
else
be
would indulge in the same.
better educated about different cultures, but apparently not.
No.
I don't know.
It is a wake up call of like realizing simultaneously how lucky that you are and how unlucky others can be, and then how like prejudiced others can be, and like how bad parents can be as well.
It's a
They're
different
just
sort
not
of
introducing
tradition.
their kids into like education and getting them out of bad ruts and things, and actually listening to their kids, and instead of just telling them what you tell them what to think.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of very like traditional minded people.
Yeah.
In Mexico as well.
Because not all tradition is bad, but
no,
there's a lot of bad tradition.
Sure. There are a lot of people like saying that abortion is bad, and some people start to believe it, even though it's just a choice that the woman has.
Yeah.
Some people put like their judgment on it, and it's like, no, just no. And I've seen that because I was in a situation, and basically I got someone pregnant. Well, I'm not gonna say who it is, and she had an abortion, but there was a lot of backlash on it. I was like, at the end of the day, it was your choice.
Mm.
I don't give a damn if other people tell you it was wrong. End of the day, she can choose to or choose not to. That's that in my mind.
Yeah.
But it seems some people were like, nope.
There's a humongous grey area. The
Sure.
whole thing is one massive, insane grey area. It's a very polarizing topic.
Yes. I have definitely gone straight into the deep water.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a 4 a.m. discussion for me.
Yeah.
But no, we're on a podcast and we're talking about anything and everything. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, I believe that it is ever so slightly. I think that men do have a say, but I think it's definitely mostly the woman's decision.
Yeah.
I
get that.
It's your job as a man to put up a good argument to what you would like to put up, and after hearing what she has to say about it.
At the end of the day, if she disagrees, then it's her body.
Yeah, if she disagrees, absolutely. But and you can fight with all hell's fury at your hand and try and work out a compromise, maybe if you would so want it. But if it's, oh god, I wouldn't want to say that. But I mean, if it is correct for all parties involved that it should go through, then it should go through, because then it is unfair on the child to raise them in an environment that there won't be catered for when they could be and they should be, because the parents would love them and would be attentive to them, but it's just the worst time possible for them to, it's not the correct time for them to be to be in existence.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So,
it could just be that the person doesn't have a good enough job at that time.
Anything. There's so many factors.
You want to make sure you
it's
have
definitely
enough.
Not something that you should throw away willy-nilly, and it is a very, very big decision, because I've had plenty of pregnancy scares and all sorts, and
I'm sure.
people missing things and going, oh, by the way, oh, okay. And all that jazz. But you maintain composure and you just make sure that you respond to the situation like as the most clear-headed, logical version of yourself that you possibly can.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like that's what you guys did. You looked at it and you said it's not the correct time, and I don't think anybody could be mad at you or upset with you for that at all. I think it's a very grown-up and difficult thing to do, and you can only judge it if you've really been in that situation or you know what you're talking about in that field. So, but yeah,
I agree.
That'd be my 2 cents on it.
2 cents. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
A lot has happened.
Yeah, man, shit's crazy.
A lot has happened.
Oh yeah, so we got robbed, which you've already heard about, but you have not seen my tattoo yet.
No, I
haven't seen my tattoo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So,
Wait, where did you get this?
There you go, on my butt.
Damn. Tattoo, man.
Rock vector. Chili pepper symbol.
It's for the chilies.
So it's rock vector, chili peppers.
Look at you stupid on TV, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my channel.
Yeah.
YouTube
channel
wants to get rid of me, and
Do what you want with
it. And I'll start a new channel on Daily Motion where they allow smut and nastiness.
Yeah.
People like me.
We'll invent our own channel.
Can't silence me.
Find a new way of making a YouTube that's just more explicit.
So I think we should probably start rounding off soon.
Yeah. We'll start getting towards it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Glad.
Oh. So, did you see Joker?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Really?
That's honestly what I thought. I was like, okay.
Not a fan.
I mean, I get it. That there's a psychological depth to it. And I think it was too into the psychological depth of itself, you know? I was like, that's nice, good, fair play. But they could have done more. I mean, at the end of the day, my taste with movies is pretty simple. It's pretty basic taste. I just like action. I just like stuff blowing up because it just distracts me and gets me out of my own mental space. When everything's like a psychological thriller, I can get into it. But with the Joker, I didn't. And
I think the reason why I loved it though is because of that. Is because it's the absence of all the Hollywood hoopla. Is they took all of that out. They took all the charm of what it means to be the bad guy.
yeah,
And they went, right, bad guy's not glamorous. He's a weird, twisted little dude with a very mixed
literally
up,
malformed
yeah,
in the body.
very strange viewpoint of the world that won't click with anybody. But he's also insanely and horribly, but yet beautifully relatable on some level, on the levels that you don't want him to be. On the levels you don't want him to be, and that's why it hits home so much, and why a lot of people don't like it. But that's my breakdown. And for that reason, he's not my favorite Joker, because he's because they didn't make him as that. That's why he's so good. Joaquin is because they didn't make him as he wasn't what you wanted him to be. He wasn't what I
No, of course not.
at all, which angered me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it gives you an emotional reaction.
Absolutely, which is art.
Which makes it effective.
Yeah.
And memorable. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Damn.
And I can't wait for the next one, because I think that
one?
apparently they're doing more. I've heard that they're doing more.
Damn.
Because it was so successful. And Joaquin said that he's very happy to conjure up the character again. He was very vague as well, wonderfully vague in
about what was happening.
Yeah.
But one film I did like a lot recently was El Camino.
Yes,
Breaking
I thoroughly
Bad.
enjoyed that. Oh, I'm glad you like that as well.
I really liked it. They managed to fit the pace of the series into the film. That's well played.
Well said as well on your part there.
That might have been me vaguely plagiarizing someone, but it's well said. It's very well said.
It's probably Vince Gilligan talking about it. Also.
Maybe. But yeah, I liked the pace of it. I liked how it was. I was very happy with that film, and I just like seeing more of Jesse as a character.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Well said. There's a few things that I mean, as a fan, again, much like the Joker, there was loads of stuff that I wanted that they didn't do.
Yeah.
But I put myself on the back burner for that. I was like, I'm just gonna watch this as a film, and it's done by Vince Gilligan, who's one of my I love Vince Gilligan. Anything that man does, he makes brewing a cup of coffee just the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen, and I love that. I have so much respect for that, because he dolls up all the little things and he makes the small things important in a very big scene, and which is quite reminiscent as well of people like Tarantino does that as well. Because right, all this lot are probably gonna, you don't know it yet, but all this lot are all gonna stab each other to death. But before they do that, here's a man polishing a knife really well for about 2 minutes. You know,
He makes it really exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this is a skill or something which does exist, and somebody today is really good at, and here he is, or here she is.
It's true.
That there's a very subtle art of picture making, movie making in general.
It just sort of takes you away from the action, puts all your focus on the one little thing.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't appreciate it entirely in that moment, but when it's gone, you think back to it like, shit, that was good.
That's what makes people like serial killers and sociopaths and psychopaths, unfortunately, relatable to everybody, is because you go, you know how much you love cheese and you're good at cheese. This man's got one of the largest collections, and he's really sick at dealing with cheese. But he does also kill people on the weekend. And you're like, he's really good at cheese.
Cheese,
yeah, exactly. You're like, the cheese is so good.
So
why is he a
dick?
dick?
Take away.
Why does he have to? Exactly?
And they always give a serial killer or some kind of mad person, insane person, a beautiful skill.
Yes.
And like you say, it makes them relatable. I mean, we're all human. End of the day, a serial killer who kills people without reason is still a person.
Yes.
And you can see it. And that's scary. Makes a very good film.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, El Camino is fantastic, and it was a very good lead on from that show in general as well, which is so hard to do, especially when you've got an audience like that. Or did you see Kevin Spacey's put a new thing online?
I did. I literally just watched those earlier today.
Did you?
Earlier today. I hadn't seen the first one he released last year. Until,
you didn't watch that one?
Until earlier today.
Oh, but you watched both of them in a row?
Both of them in a row.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is interesting.
The first one was interesting. The second one was creepy.
Yeah, second one was creepy.
The one he did recently, 3 days ago.
3 days ago now.
I was watching that and I was going, there's a little dark light coming from somewhere here, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't know what it is. I can't define it. I can't.
I know what you mean.
I can't give voice to the strangeness, but there's something in here I don't quite trust, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I think there's a lack. There's a certain amount of. I think it's obfuscation. I think he's hiding behind obfuscation, and I think that's what destroys him for me, is the fact that he's almost doing it. He's doing it in a political way about something that's actually real and quite serious.
He's
not addressing any of the problems. Instead, he's just kind of going like, "Well, I'm just going to be Frank Underwood," and
he's using Frank Underwood as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Even though it's a character.
It's like, no, it was Frank raped all of those young boys. It was not.
And Frank doesn't care. You like Frank as a character, don't you?
Yeah, you love Frank.
Like, come on, you can't quite get away with that.
Yeah, like, come on.
It really upsets me as well, because I really liked that character.
Usual Suspects, mate, as well. Oh my god.
I really liked the character that he played in the TV series as a bad guy that you sort of can get along with.
Yeah.
But and I liked that. I liked House of Cards until I heard that he wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah. I don't like Robin Wright just because I don't like her. I don't know what it is. There was something I didn't hear about her at one point, but she's a bit too bleaty. It's a bit too bleaty for me.
I just don't like her either. I can't quite explain it.
And it's I never forgave her for Forrest Gump. Being so mean to Forrest Gump. She was mean to Forrest, and he was lovely. I'm sorry, Forrest. I'm gonna go and do more heroin and fuck loads more dudes. He's like, okay, Jenny.
Okay, Jenny, that's okay.
That sounds like a bad idea, but I can't stop it because I'm too kind and lovely. Goodbye. And then she goes off and does that, and then he jumps off the roof or the balcony, and then goes right back to. Oh no, I fucked up too bad again. I'm gonna go and see the nice disabled man that's really nice to me.
Really nice.
That would give me a perfect life.
Yeah.
No.
But I found that as well with like another series. I was watching Vikings, the series, and I really loved it. But I loved it for the protagonist. And
the moment they got rid of Ragnar,
I couldn't watch it anymore. I love it. He was what made it.
I love it.
And I felt the same way about Kevin Spacey's character in House of Cards.
The most recent series of Vikings is so good, dude. I'm up to date with it. It is brilliant. I felt the same way. I was like, I watched it and I was like, well, I'm just gonna stop watching that. And because I was only really I wasn't like half watching Vikings. I was actually really enjoying it. And, because it was my father used to tell me the stories of Ragnar and the sons of Ragnar and of Lagertha and all of that, and he knew because he'd had books on it and read as a child, and he'd fallen in love with the fable and everything. And he used to tell me all of this when we do my my times tables, and then if I was lucky or good, then he'd give me another part of the fable of Ragnar sometimes, or some ancient part of English history or Shakespeare or a sonnet or something.
Pretty good reward.
Yeah, dude, fucking dope. I was like, it was so much more interesting than the radio. It took me. I'd be sitting in the car with my dad, and like 40 minutes would go by, and I wouldn't even realize the radio wasn't on.
You're like, wait,
like,
radio.
Dad's just being awesome. Yeah, but like but yeah, it was because I knew there was more history to come, that they were discussing it as a historical thing. So I was like, okay, right, Ragnar's dead. What else have you got? And then I found the new actors that were occupying the Sons of Ragnar were a little bit immature.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of like the characters, but maybe in terms of their approach. I was assuming that they were like almost behaving a little bit immature. And then I gave it a little bit more of a chance, and I kept watching it, and a few other things happened. And then the last season that's just gone, I was a bit like, it's good.
Come on.
It's good.
Yeah.
I was like just kind of I'm not too sure what to do with myself next noises at the end of it. And then this season that they're doing now is brilliant. It's really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm back on board. Like
you're back on it.
Yeah, Ivar's fantastic. The Sons are good. There's a whole other level of like all the characters have evolved a certain amount now, so that I can realign my interest in them in some way. I don't know. Speaking bollocks.
No, it's fine. Your channel.
Oh no, I always say that whenever I have a guest on it or anything on Biscotti Conversations, you're not actually a guest, you're actually a co-host. You co-host Biscotti with me because it's all about what you really want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I always cater the table or anything to whoever the guest is. So it's like, hence why it's pork and cheese for you. Absolutely. For Greg, it was whiskey and ham.
Bottle of whiskey and ham. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then Nathan, it was green tea and rice wine. And I actually managed to got a bottle of rice wine from Japan as well for him and stuff. And the first one, Daniel was very plain. He was like beer and snacks. So I was like, beer and popcorn.
Beer and popcorn.
Perfect.
Actually, popcorn would be.
Yeah. And then Ben also has his own channel and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, so So I was like, oh, you just Ben will be fine with beer, and Ben was over the moon with beer. He was like, fucking beer. There's beer and talk in the same place. We're not at the pub. We have to pay. This is brilliant. Like, and Ben was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's combo. It's good.
But yeah, cool.
So we've covered films and TV
books,
series,
literature, everything,
books.
my friend. Yeah, even your own literature.
Yeah, I've been trying to up more. When I've been in Mexico, I've been more aware of my Englishness. Of being part of the UK, being a UK citizen, and I've been trying to like push more music. I keep pushing Arctic Monkeys at people. I'm like, Arctic Monkeys, have it. And people tend to know it, at least. It's an easy one to get people to listen to. They're like, come on. But I keep pushing like English stuff at people. I'm like, you reading Shakespeare in Spanish? Stop it. I'd be like, come on, stop reading Shakespeare in Spanish. Get it in the English.
Come on, let's go in English. It's done.
Yeah, but no, I've been more aware of my roots. And recently, I was going to say earlier, but we got way into different topics and all over the labyrinth, I was going to say earlier that recently I've been coming across the idea that, well, not the idea, but the concept that being in Mexico is great and everything. But what is happening to what I leave behind here in UK has been more on my mind.
Oh.
And for example, one of my friends, she was like, go back to UK. She was like, I love that you're here, but you need to go back and fix those bridges while you still can. Because she'd been out of her country. She'd been out of Nigeria for like 10 years. And she was like, I can't, like, too much time has passed. I can't, like, fix those relationships. And I'm getting to a point where, yeah, I fucking love being in Mexico, but I fucking love my friends back here in the UK. And part of me is like, I would have done my year in April. I would have done the year that I wanted, that I promised to myself I would do in March, April time.
Yeah.
And then I want to come back and be part of new adventures with you, with the others. That would be where my head's at right now.
Mm.
And off camera, away from the microphones, I'm going to want to talk to you a lot more about that topic.
Yeah, dude.
But that's where my head has been at recently. I've been like, yes, I have been able to see amazing things in Mexico. I've been to Oaxaca. I've been to places in Veracruz. I won't list it all, but I've enjoyed. I have lived out there. I've seen things that I might never see, or might have never seen if I hadn't been there. And that's amazing. And that's something I've written about and I've enjoyed writing about. But I want to be able to come back in April and just be like, I'm going to go be with my friends and we will have new experiences together. Because I don't want to let it slip away, because I believe no matter how strong your bond is, if you just leave it without doing anything, it's going to slip away. So I want to come back and rebuild bridges.
Oh.
It's more important to me these days than it was before.
I think it's something that comes with age. Something that comes with age is that you realize it's not just like it's people. It's people that you're around. You realize that how rare a cell of human of people that we are.
Yeah.
That we occupy. It's not just the fact that we're friends, but we occupy the same space in time and history and culture and humanity. And we actually, like every other human being that's ever come before us, we have the chance to affect change. We have the chance to do things, and in order to do that, you've got to be able to get along with people in a certain respect. So, you know, as you said, you know, rebuilding bridges, or tending to relationships, or just being there for somebody is a very it's very strange, because I always used to take it for granted when I was growing up. I know I didn't quite I just didn't. I didn't have a lot of friends in school growing up. I had lots of friends, and then I'd fuck up and I'd lose all my friends, and then I'd have loads of friends and I'd fuck up and I'd lose all my friends, and then and then it would go, you know, things kind of progress, and I was like, all right, what do I keep fucking up with? What do I keep doing, sort of thing? And it's just being able to move forwards and realize that it's being able to forgive yourself properly as well. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you can say that you've forgiven yourself, but unless you've really touched on that point inside you and you say, no, I forgive myself because I've done the right things to heal that wound.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me a long ass time sitting down with somebody, and we didn't get a big list of all the things that I'd ever hurt that person with, and I went through them each individually, and I go, right, okay, I stole your dog on this day, so here's some roses. I know it doesn't quite cover the cost, but you know, and then I burnt the house down on Wednesday, so right, here's some chutney, you know, like things like that. You're like, or here is, or just even spending time with people. It's not like that. It's, as you said, it's forging new experiences. It's it's moving forwards in the present.
Moving forwards in the present. I've just wanted to be able to go back to sharing mundane moments that just become incredible by the company you keep. And I think, for example, you and I have a mix of different aspects and different kind of madnesses, almost, if you want to take madness liberally. But we have that combination that just becomes a beautiful and very it sort of lives within itself, codependent kind of thing that works incredibly, and with our other friends as well out here. It just adds to that beauty. And that's something I would want to nurture more going into the new year. We could start talking about how we're going to go into the new year.
No, absolutely. The other thing as well is that I'm trying not to force relationships.
No, I
as
get
much
that.
as possible.
I get.
I know I'm not saying that as like any hot to this. I'm saying that because there's so many times as well that
I love touching base with people. I think that's one of my favorite things to do is when you see somebody and you're like, right, should we go out and do something crazy? Shall we make something together? So that's like normally like, should we go out and do something crazy? Should we make something together? So going out and doing something crazy could be like, do you want to go rock climb? I don't know, fucking skydiving. I've never been skydiving, but
Would love to.
Yeah, do you want to go skydiving? Did you want to go? Do you want to go on a massive night out and just see where it leads us, or did you, what would you like to do? Or as the other one is, did you want to build something together? Do you want to just sit and we just, I don't know, put some IKEA furniture together? And like, I don't know, maybe have a beer, or just have nothing, or just try and make cups of tea, or to make IKEA furniture, or should we just try and make chocolate? Make chocolate together, or bread, or bake bread together. The other one is, do you want to do nothing?
Yeah.
Do you want to sit? This is
Be there.
We don't have to exchange even words. We could just sit and watch a film and laugh together at it, and you have that wonderful sixth sense of sharing all the other senses of the person. You're sharing sight, sound, hearing, smell, the taste, all that other jazz.
Yeah.
That's it to me, is the whole human experience. And it's just as long as you can have something say like, I didn't see you until last time we watched Thingy together, didn't we? Or things like that. And you're like, oh, did we?
Well, we ended up.
Yes, we did, and it was thick. Yeah.
Ended up jumping out of a plane over the Caribbean together. That would be amazing.
Oh. Right, I think that's
enough.
That's
enough
the
of that.
podcast.
That's glorious, my friend.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much, everybody, for tuning in. Our one guest that stayed with us the entire time throughout this entire podcast. I'd like to thank very much from everything of my heart, Dave, for coming on and doing this. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And right, we'll see you another time. Let's do some more Biscotti conversations. oh yeah.